now setting off on lap 6. This is the start of lap 6. Victor Oberg now, having climbed into the top 10, you can see that he's dropped a place from our graphic. 5 seconds behind race leader Lucas Travaglini, but then Lucas Travaglini's lead, which was 1.9 seconds, is down to 1.1 second. So whilst he's, what shall we say, handily placed, the indications are that he Luca Travaglino 58.7, last lap for Josh White 58.2, last lap for Dylan Hay 58.0, Carlos Gil 58.5. So Luca Travaglini is either being very sensible and driving within himself, or the others are catching him. The good news for the others, they're all faster than the race leader. The bad news for the others, the race leader is about to start his final lap. Oh, and a black flag, we're going to have somebody thrown out. Oliver Askew from the United States of America, the world number 3, is going out on a DQ. Oliver Askew, who came 3rd in New Orleans last year at his 4th world final, the American champion, the domestic champion, is out of the race on a black flag DQ. And Dylan LaHaye into 2nd place now, having gone past Josh White. But dramatic news about the American champion. Didn't see any incident that we caught on screen. No doubt we'll learn about that later, but oh dear, don't like to see anybody going out on a black flag. But then again, if people commit an infraction such that a black flag is deserved, well, there we go. The late stages of the race, the final turn. Luca Travaglini, the checkered flag will come in good time for it. No, this is 1 lap to go, is that? This is the start of the last lap. This is the start. So, can Luca Travaglini be caught by Dylan LaHaye? Luca Travaglini holding off Dylan LaHaye and Josh White. An advantage to the Brazilian is that Dylan and Josh have had their own little piece of action. Dylan LaHaye is KART 247 and making a real effort now to get hold of Travaglini the Brazilian, and I think that Carlos Gil has gone past Josh White, and LaHaye into the lead, Dylan LaHaye into the lead. And when it happened dramatically, because he's not just in the lead now, he's 5 lengths clear, and Travaglini's in trouble. He's looking over his shoulder. The checkered flag can't come soon enough for the Brazilian. I don't think he's lost another place at the moment. He hasn't. But Dylan LaHaye's going to win it, and Travaglini will hold on to 2nd place, and does so. Carlos Gil finished 3rd, Josh White 4th, Luke Herring 5th, Oliver Askew was 6th past the post but has been disqualified. So Arvo Talvar, 7th past the flag, will be 6th. Root Markkanen, 8th past the checkered flag, will be 7th. Eduardo Garcia, 9th at the checkered flag, will be 8th. Dimitri Katiu, 10th at the checkered flag, will be 9th. And Fred Eriksson, who thinks that he's finished 11th, will be promoted to 10th. And Abdullah Al-Rawahi, just outside the top 10, finished 12th, will be classified 11th. Well, a great drive by Dylan LaHaye, because he started on pole position but lost the lead significantly. The 3rd really good race out of 3. But the dramatic news, our friends over there in the United States of America on Thanksgiving Day, well, my USA friends, what can I say to you? First of all, I say Happy Thanksgiving Day, but secondly, I say the USA former champion Oliver Askew, finishing in 6th place, has been DQ'd on a black flag. I don't know the details. If we learn them later on, we'll tell you. But let's finish on a positive note. Dylan LaHaye won it from Luca Travaglini 2nd and Carlos Gil 3rd. .269 at the bottom of your screen was Carlos Gil, 264 on the scales, Oliver Askew. But it's a little bit academic, Oliver, whatever you weigh. Oh dear, the OGP logo not to be seen. Hi to my friends up there in Ocala, Florida. But that's a sad sight you saw there. Oliver Askew weighing in, but it will be immaterial because of the black flag. There is the revised finishing order. Dylan LaHaye, Luca Travaglini, Carlos Gill was how it always was, Josh White 4th and Luke Herring completing the top 5, but 6th now, Arvo Talvar, 7th Root Makkonen, 8th Eduardo Garcia, Dimitri Katayo promoted to 9th, and Fred Eriksson completing the top 10. Confirmation of our friends at Al Ain Raceway, got somebody else to cheer for. Abdullah Al Rawahi was born over the border in Oman, but racing on the UAE license. Hey, the Korean driver, wonderful, wonderful, starting last, starting 36th and last, Kim Yong-tae from South Korea, finishes in the top 20. Well done to Kim Yong-tae. Very little international racing experience. He finishes in the top 20 in his first heat. Bitter disappointment for Willem-Jan de Loos. He would have expected better than 27th, I think. Calvin Wong of Malaysia, outside the top 30. Not at all happy. And of course the unlucky Mark Ferenc and Wai Kong Lee and Mason Marotta of the United States, who all went out on the opening lap. Oliver Askew, who completed the race, but to no avail. Well, Jenny's down there in the paddock. She's got Dylan LaHaye with her. Let's go and hear what Dylan's got to say.
Now, Dylan, what a great race. Last lap dash, and you made it. Crossed the line first.
Yeah, it was... I couldn't believe it, but he let a gap at the last corner and I took my chance, so...
Now, how was the racing for the first race? Because we've had a little bit of action out there with the juniors.
Yeah, there was too much action in the junior, but now with the senior, it's fair. Like, when they pass, they don't try to kick you off. Everybody help each other, you know. When they see somebody is going away, they stop passing and we drive together, we come back on the other. It's a fair race, I like.
Well, that's good. We'll see you then on the grid.
Yeah.
Pole position for the second race.
Yeah, also, I hope I'll do the same, but let's
we'll see.
It's racing.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, bye.
Bye.
Yes, well done, Dylan. You saw the GKS badge or logo on the back of his T-shirt there. Hi to all of our friends at GKS Lemons at Karting Gang. Kuhn is with us here, and so is Jérôme. I think that's Jules. Yes, it is Jules Cousin of France. Jules not gone well at all. He's starting in 30th place, P30 for Jules Cousin, one of our better drivers on the European scene. Well, Oliver Askew thrown out of that race, and I'm sorry to tell you that the back row in this next race is Dan Roper, United States, and the lady in the class, Ashley Rogero, United States. because those two were thrown out yesterday. So it's not starting well for my friends in the USA. Bruno Bolido is on pole position, joined by Nicola Pico on the front row. Zach Clement de Mello and Eugene Denason, row 2. Vincent Jewell of Belgium, Guan Yu Zhou, the Chinese-born driver, racing out of Britain now, row 3. Jack Bartholomew, the second Brit, he's on row 4 with Antoni Patak of Poland. Brad Jenner, Australia, and Martin Mortensen of Denmark complete the top 10 on row 5. Fabian Velter of Mexico shares row 6 with Joseph Riley of Great Britain. Philip Arscott, former USA champion, on row 7 with Konstantin Schürl of Austria. Row 8, Johan Alvarez from Colombia with Damiano Marcheson of Italy. Row 9, Josh Price and Harry Webb. It's an all-British row 9, and the top 20 completed by Sandor Jakab of Slovakia and Kivi Kairo of Estonia. Akinori Kukuchi of Japan and Christian Carrier of Netherlands, row 11. Christophe Paquet of Canada and Gary Donnelly of Ireland, row 12. Komarakul Warawong of Thailand, cart number, his cart number is 214. He's from Thailand and is alongside Aratem Arestov of Russia. Row 14, Abdullah Al-Tawadi from the Kingdom of Bahrain. Hi to all our friends in Bahrain. Alexander Sovic from Eastern Europe, the Ukraine, sharing row 14. Top 30 completed by Thomas Stranava from Slovakia and Jules Cousin from France. Martin Elgard of Norway and Victor Sanchez of Mexico, row 16. Indian driver Ricky Donison is on row 17 with Silvano Christian of Indonesia, and the two Americans who were thrown out of qualifying yesterday, the gentleman Dan Roper from Florida and the lady from Florida, Ashley Rogero, they're going to start on row 18. I suggest to you that they will make forward progress at a relatively early stage. An 8-lap race, groups C and D in seniors. Big thank you for all of you joining us online. We do appreciate you tuning in. Hope you're enjoying our coverage. Here we go for the formation lap. Bruno Bolido is on your left, cart 211, he's from Portugal. 235 on your right is Nicolas Pico from France. Bonjour tous nos amis en France, tous nos amis des autres pays mais qui parlent français. Bruno Bolido and Nicolas Pico. They get a nice clean start at the front? We hope so. Zach Clement de Mello and Eugene Denason, a Canadian South African row 2. Here we go. No, we are aborted the start. We have aborted the start. We are not racing. We are not racing. My thanks to Jill for that early call. You see the flashing amber lights, the first of our aborted starts. Well, I don't know the reason for the aborted start, but that did not look a clean formation. It did look as if it was just a little bit too stretched. And race director Nigel Edwards pointing out what he thought was wrong. Oh, now we see what was wrong. Some of the drivers have gone on the inside of the chicane and some on the outside of the chicane. No wonder that was a false start. It was a false approach, negating the start. Guys, we have to learn the circuit. You've done all of your qualifying practice and non-qualifying practice and warm-up going through the chicane. You need to go through the chicane on the formation lap. There may have been a reason. Maybe somebody left a gap. Do we get it right this time? Our replay showing you precisely why we're going where we are. Okay, do we get a clean one this time? Well, it's not the easiest of starts. Bruno Bolido getting a good start, and Zachary Clement de Mello, Nicola Pico on the outside of the front row, a little bit slowly away, and that's balked one or two other drivers. We've got a lot of drivers. That's the worst of the starts at turn 3, and we've lost perhaps, well, not lost, but about a quarter of the field have been affected. Let me just have a look at the front though. Bruno Bolido, that is, in front of, I think that might be Zach Clement de Mello. It's kart number 213, which is Zach Clement de Mello. They're the 1 and 2, but oh dear, we've got karts now spread over at least a half, if not a little bit more, of the length of this 1428 metre circuit. So 1 or 2 drivers now got a lot of hard work to do. But on the positive side, Bruno Bolido from Portugal and Zachary Clement de Mello from Canada going well. I think that might be Vincent Jewell in there, but don't know that with certainty. 208, no, 208 is Jack Bartholomew. So Jack Bartholomew is the 3rd place driver, I think, and my timing screen freezes, so I'm going to be in real trouble here. Don't have the benefit of the timing screen. Bolido, Bruno Bolido leading. Zach Clement de Mello in 2nd place, Jack Bartholomew in 3rd place, and Bartholomew putting pressure on. Well, just trying to get our timing screen back to support you, but Bruno Bolido was in the lead when we last looked, and that did look as if that was Bruno Bolido. We've got Jack Bartholomew there, Zach Clement de Mello. They were the 1, 2, 3 previously. The 3rd place driver, I think, was Jenna Brad Jenner from Australia. Yeah, I think that is Jenna. And Denison of South Africa in 5th place. Eugene Denison in 5th place, and maybe Harry Webb in 6th place. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Possibly so. Possibly so. Bolido continues to lead. Bruno Bolido, Zach Clement de Mello in 2nd place. Jack Bartholomew in 3rd place. Brad Jenner, the Australian, running 4th. Eugene Denison of South Africa in 5th place. And our 6th place driver was Harry Webb in front of Philip Arscott. And then just struggling a little bit after that to try to identify them. Oh, and that is a change of lead with Zach Clement de Mello getting in front of Bruno Bolido. And Jack Bartholomew still taking closer order, making a and a little bit of contact as we went through the chicane there. Let's have a look at the time, or not so much the time as the confirmation that Zach Clement de Mello led from Jack Bartholomew. And Bruno Bolido in 3rd place, Brad Jenner still 4th, Eugene Denison in 5th place, Harry Webb 6th, Philip Arscott 7th. I think that 8th is the Japanese driver, Akinori Kikuchi. Yes, it is. In 9th place, it's Christian Kara of Netherlands, and Silvano Christian of Indonesia, who had a terrible time in some of the preliminaries and started in 34th place, has gone from 34th to 9th. For Indonesia, Silvano Christian has gone from P34 to P9 in 4 racing laps. We're at the half race distance. Or, excuse me, we're approaching the half race distance. Zach Clemendemello being tracked by Jack Bartholomew, and Jack Bartholomew looking threatening as these two have pulled away a little bit more clearly now. This is the start of lap 5, and there's the move by Bartholomew, and Bartholomew takes the lead at the start of lap 5. Bartholomew taking the lead at the start of lap 5, and one of our front runners has drifted off the pace down to off the racing pace down to walking pace. So there's drama there because one of our front runners, I do believe it was one in the top 9, failed to go through. Well, we have to keep our eye on that to try to identify. Zach Clemendemello losing the lead as he was to Jack Bartholomew. Now, for some reason, we've got Jack Bartholomew being shown in 6th place when I thought he was the guy that had taken the lead. Jack Bartholomew is in KART 208, so it is Zach Clemendemello that we're showing now in front of Bruno Bollido. Well, apologies that we have had a little bit of difficulty in the commentary box. I don't see the circuit, so I rely on my timing screen. But Jack Bartholomew looks now to be, as I look out the window, there they are, the leaders, 1, 2, 3, 4. Jack Bartholomew, I think it is in 5th place now. Bruno Bollido continuing to lead. I say continuing to lead. He had lost the lead to Zach Clemendemello at one stage. Harry Webb, who started down in 18th place. Harry Webb, a reigning world champion. He's a reigning world champion. He's the Rotax World Junior Champion. Can't defend that title. He's a senior now. He's got himself up into 3rd place from the east of England. Good drive by Philip Arscott, who started in 13th place. He's running 4th. Jack Bartholomew 5th. May have been Jack Bartholomew, who was the driver who lost the pace that we saw at the top of the screen. We have completed 5 laps, coming towards the end of the 6th. So 2 remaining, 2 laps to go. This is lap 7. Bruno Bollido, Zach Clemendemello, well clear of Harry Webb, who in turn in 3rd place, you see, well, you don't at the moment. There's Harry Webb in 3rd place. Now at the front, is there still another change remaining? Because Bruno Bollido of Portugal in the red racing suit, just in front of Zach Clemendemello, driver who I've seen a long time. He's always been good, always been a front runner. I have to say I'm completely neutral when I do my commentaries, but a name as long as Zachary Clemendemello, when he's a regular front runner, can just, well, it doesn't roll off the tongue quite as easy as Harry Webb does. But Bruno Bollido just putting a little bit of distance, it would seem to me, there between himself and Zach Clemendemello. This is the final turn. So last lap, as Bruno Bollido looks over his right shoulder. Zach Clemendemello follows him. Harry Webb in 3rd place. Philip Arscott 4th. Brad Jenner 5th. Jack Bartholomew, I think, was 5th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is now 6th. Akinori Kikuchi 7th. Eugene Denason 8th. Christian Kawa 9th. And Sandor Jakab into the top 10 at number 10. Halfway round the last lap. And as you can see, Bruno Bollido still holding on to his lead. Zach Clemendemello in 2nd place. Little bit of a gap then. It's a closing gap to Harry Webb. Harry Webb's good news is that he's reaching into the, what shall we say, hailing distance of the top 2, but the bad news for Harry, this is the last lap, so 3rd place is probably as much as Harry's going to be able to achieve. Just the chicane to go before the end of the race. On to the home straight. Bruno Bollido of Portugal takes the checkered flag. Bruno Bollido wins it. Zach Clemendemello in 2nd place. Harry Webb 3rd. Philip Arscott coming home 4th. Brad Jenner, the Australian, 5th. Jack Bartholomew 6th. Akinori Kikuchi 7th. Eugene Denason 8th. Christian Kara, the Netherlands, 9th. And Sandor Jakab, kart number 225. He's at his 5th world final, the Slovakian driver, completing the top 10. Great drive by Christian Silvano. Silvano Christian started 34th and finished 11th. Was up to 9th at one time. Dan Roper, who started on the back row, climbed up to 17th place. And the lady who was on the back row with him, Ashley Ruggiero, we lost her on lap 5. So it's not going well for the lady from Naples, Florida. It's going well for Bruno Bollido. He won that one from Zach Clamandamello second, and the world champion at junior level last year, Harry Webb, third. Just better correct what I was saying, that Harry Webb was the reigning world champion. It was 2 years back, wasn't it? It was Juan Manuel Correa who was the junior champion last year at New Orleans. Apologies to Juan Manuel Correa, all his friends in the USA and all his friends in Ecuador where he was born. Sorry, I'm getting that wrong. Harry Webb, the 2012 junior world champion. Good drive by Harry though, because he started in 18th place, came third. But the drive of the race for me, Silvano Christian of Indonesia, from 34th up to 11th, and at one time he'd got up to 9th. Okay, on the weighing machine there is cart number 222. Harry Webb, the world champion in 2012 at juniors. He raced in New Orleans last year and didn't feature too well in the seniors. Nice replay picture there, isn't it? That's hope you're enjoying our shots. Confirmation then that 0.17 of a second splitting Bruno Bollido, the winner, from Zach Clamandamello, Portugal versus Canada, United Kingdom third, Phil Arscott fourth. Better news for the USA after the exclusion of Oliver Askew, Brad Jenner of Australia fifth. Jack Bartholomew, who was running higher than sixth, not sure why he dropped back to sixth. Akinori Kikuchi of Japan, good drive by him, into 7th place. 11th place, Silvano Christian, starting, as I've told you, in 34th place. So a good drive for the KRS Motorsports driver there. Nicola Pico started on the front row and only finished 15th. Disappointment. Le Français Nicola Pico seulement en 15e place. Malheureusement, 15e place, Nicola Pico. Dan Roper from 35th to 17th. Guan Yu Zhou out of the top 20. He started on the third row but has only finished 21st. Vincent Jewell was one of the drivers caught in the issues early on. He started on the third row but didn't really have a sensible shot after the problems that there were. Confirmation that the only female driver in the race, Ashley Rogero, went out on lap 5. Well, we can always rely on Jenny Wade to get a good little chat for us in the paddock. She's got the first, second and third drivers down there. Let's join her now.
Okay, Bruno, an exciting race here with 1, 2 and 3, first, second and third, of course, without their helmets, so we know what they look like. How was the racing for you?
The first laps was very hard. It was very hard, but me and Zach made a really good job, and I won, and it was good. Win a qualifying 8 again in Rotax Max Grand Finals.
Of course, we've seen you here before. Zach also, how are you feeling? Second place, but a good fight there.
Yeah, I'm happy. When I got behind him, I just tried to break away from the group. I mean, I didn't want to do anything stupid, and it worked out well for us, and we had a 1-2 finish, and it was quite easy, and I think it's just good finishes and keep them going to save it for the final.
Of course, easy for you guys, but Harry Webb in third from grid 18, I believe. What happened?
Well, I was hoping we could get a good start and get maybe a few places for the grand final, but I went around the first one, everyone seemed to crash, and somehow I managed to squeeze through, and then it was up to about 5th, and then some more crashed, and it all sort of fell into place, but it was good. Okay,
so the luckiest guy on the track was you?
Probably.
Okay, I'll let you go. Well done. Fantastic racing. Everyone at home is watching. So, yeah, we're looking forward to Heat 2. Thank you.
Well, thanks, Jenny, and thanks, lads. And Bruno Bollido, incidentally, the race winner, lives at Viana do Castelo in Portugal. What's significant about Viana do Castelo? We had a Rotax World Challenge Grand Finals there. Just thinking back, that was in 2007, was it? And it rained, and it rained, and it rained. No, it was 2006, Viana do Castelo. Ricardo Romkemer of Netherlands became the Rotax Senior Champion. Jorrit Peks of Belgium, the juniors then. Well, race 5 is for the DD2 Masters, and we have the world champion Cristiano Magado putting his title on the line. He's from South Africa, 4 times a world champion, 3 on the bounce at this level, and he's on the pole position, joined by Australian driver Adam Hunter. Antti Ollikainen of Finland shares row 2 with Martin Pearce of Ireland. Row 3, Jeremy Charron of France and Javier Campo of host nation Spain. Ryan Urban of New Zealand, row 4 with Richard Faulkner of Ireland. Row 5, Florent Lambert of France and Fernando Guzzi of Brazil. Row 6, Stuart Clark of Canada and a former world champion, Jesus Perez Santander of Spain. Michael Abuasa of Brazil and Satoris Papachristou of Greece are row 7. Ricky Tanioka of Japan and Michael Karsting, the former superkart racer from Sweden, row 8. Luis Ignacio Valenzuela is on row 9. He's from Chile. He shares row 9 with Riviera Juan Jose Riviera of Ecuador, Ilya Aloskins of Latvia and Renato Russo of Brazil, row 10. Alex Gumpenberger and Prit Sayi are row 11, Andres Brindley and Jan Andreasen, row 12. Row 13, Andres Francesca and Felipe Merjek, Eric Jackson and Keifli Ottman, row 14. Thomas Jorgensen of Norway and Selmi Maran of South Africa, row 15. Chuanyi Chong, Vika Chong on row 16 with Juan Hernandez of Mexico. Enrico Friso of Venezuela and Richard van Eerde of South Africa, row 17, and the grid completed by Mahfoud Amir of Indonesia and Aaron Cunningham of New Zealand. An 8-lap race. These are the DD2 Masters. We had some great racing from the juniors and the seniors. Can the DD2s and DD2 Masters match that? We hope so. Do hope you're enjoying our coverage here from Chiva, Valencia in the southeast of Spain. We know that we have many people tuning in from all over the globe. A big thank you. I'm Ken Walker. I know that a lot of you are familiar with my voice. I do feel very privileged to be able to be talking to you from Chiva, Valencia. Thank you for tuning in. That's a genuine sentiment. We do appreciate it. And I hope you're enjoying what you see. TV production, of course, by KART-DATA, who are the official timekeeper of the event, as well as the TV production company. KART-DATA headed up by Andreas Holzeitner, very experienced at this level. So, Cristiano Magado on pole position, Adam Hunter joining him on the front row. The South African colours and the Australian colours, very similar. And that's not a start. That's not a start. And my suggestion as to why it was not a start, and it's a piece of fortune for Adam Hunter of Australia, because he was clearly in front of poleman Cristiano Magado, and I think he would have got a penalty had that been a start there. so we go round again. We thank our friends from Praga for supplying the chassis in DD2 Masters. So we try again. Cristiano Magado on the left from South Africa, Adam Hunter on the right from Australia. And we're racing this time, and Adam Hunter was not in front of Chris Magado then, he was dwelling considerably. So that's balked Martin Pearce of Ireland, who was on the outside of the second row. So Cristiano Magado leads from Antti Ollikainen of Finland, and Jeremy Chiron of France got up there. Ryan Urban of New Zealand, a good start. Richard Faulkner, and again we've had some heavy action off screen, but let's stay with you on screen. We've lost about 8 drivers who are not circulating, and this on the opening lap, so that is a disappointment. There's kart 434 that you can see, the Japanese driver Riki Tanioka, and several drivers will not complete the opening lap, and we could even be in a situation where we need a full course yellow because, well, no, the karts are being moved to a position of safety, but I'm afraid that's the most disappointing start that we've had thus far. Hopefully that's not going to be repeated. Cristiano Magado led from Martin Pearce at the end of the opening lap, and just looking away from the screen, there's been some mayhem, but let me stay with what you can see on screen. Cristiano Magado leading from Martin Pearce, Antti Ollikainen of Finland second, third, Adam Hunter fourth, Javier Campo fifth, Ryan Urban sixth, Jeremy Saron seventh, Flo Lambert eighth, Michel Aboisse ninth, and Fernando Guzzi completing the top 10. We do have, as I predicted, the full course slow, the equivalent of the safety car in Formula One. Not trying to sound a little bit of a smart aleck, but really as I looked out of the window, I don't see all of the circuit, but I saw enough of it that was in a difficult situation. Well, Cristiano Magado had built up a lead of 0.8 of a second, so he's going to have to relinquish that lead of 0.8 of a second. That's the bad news for the world champion. The good news is that when they restart, he will be on his own, although, to be fair, Adam Hunter didn't chase him through to the first turn on this occasion. Well, who are the guys we've lost? Riki Tanioka, Ilya Aloskins, Sotiris Papachristou, Andreas Brandley, Juan Jose Rivera, Eric Jackson, Renato Russo, Ottman Keifley. Oh dear, we've lost 8 drivers who don't appear. Well, there's 453 coming through, which is Jan Andreasen. Was it? Yes, it was. But I had counted Jan, so we've still lost drivers. Well, for those of you that are not familiar, the full course slow is just like the safety car in Formula One, so this is a lap in the race. So although nobody can overtake, well, they can overtake, but they'll get a penalty for doing so. It's not at a racing pace either, as you can see, but this is nevertheless lap 3 of the 8-lap race. And Cristiano Magado will stay in the lead until the green flag is shown for the resumption of racing. We're going to have lap 4 under the full course yellow, so we shall reach the half race distance under a full course yellow. Kart 442, Luis Ignacio Valenzuela, long way behind. In fact, he's a lap down, but will be allowed to restart. Those drivers that are a lap down will stay a lap down, but they're not as in Formula One where you can come forward and unlap yourself. But at least they'll be a lap down, but on the tail end of the main racing group, rather than, well, a lap and 3/4 down as it otherwise would have been. Very unfortunate, but the good news, nobody is hurt. There's some damaged carts though. Well, having said there's nobody hurt, off the screen I think there is perhaps somebody who's needing assistance off the track, so we hope that they're going to be not too badly hurt and will be able to carry on. Most unfortunate, it's just the other side of the coin to some of the fabulous racing we've seen, isn't it? And we're going to have another lap under the full course yellow. So this is lap 5, and if we lose the full course yellow at the end of this lap, it will be a 3-lap sprint to the finish. And what you can't see on screen, I can let you into the news that the senior flag marshal does still have his yellow flag, but he's also picked up his green flag. And I do believe that we shall resume racing at the end of this lap. This is lap 5 of an 8-lap race, so it'll be a 3-lap sprint to the finish at the end of this one, I do believe. That's not an official announcement, I've been told, but I can see that the official starter has picked up his green flag. Well, they're going round at a sensible pace, which Cristiano Magado is dictating. If they look over to their right and see the green flag being held and know what's happening, they'll kick on a bit. The starter now just moving away a little bit so they don't see the green. I feel sure we're going to resume racing here. And there is the flag, and Chris Magado kicks up to racing pace. Martin Pearce bids to take the lead from him, and very, very nearly did. Martin Pearce in second place made a really bold move on Cristiano Magado, and Cristiano Magado is shade lucky to be able to chop across the Irishman and retain his lead. Martin Pearce putting pressure on Cristiano Magado, a former world champion at this level and a former world number 3 in Rotax Max Senior, the first time as long ago as 2001. He raced as a Brit then, he races as an Irishman now. Martin Pearce in second place, Antti Ollikainen in third place from Finland, Adam Hunter Australia 4th, Javier Campo of Spain is the 5th of those drivers, and the 6th that you see is Ryan Urban. Ryan Urban, of course, from New Zealand. So, this is the end of lap 6. We have 2 to go, and a move up from 4th to 3rd, yes, and that's Adam Hunter of Australia going past Antti Ollikainen of Finland. So Adam Hunter of Australia into 3rd place, and immediately trying to put pressure on Martin Pearce, the Irishman. So 5 world titles between these front-running 2. It's not quite as evenly spread out as it might have been, because Cristiano Magado's had 4 of those world titles, Martin Pearce one of them, and Adam Hunter now taking an interest in the second place that Martin Pearce has got, as Cristiano Magado just moves away a little bit, pulling away from the Irishman, looks over his right shoulder, Cristiano Magado. Typical driving style of Cristiano Magado, does incline his torso, upper torso, between some of the turns. Coming round then to start what will be the last lap. 1 to go, last lap. Cristiano Magado 1, Martin Pearce 2, Adam Hunter 3, Antti Ollikainen 4, Javier Campo 5, Ryan Urban 6. Well, Adam Hunter was closing in on Martin Pearce for second place, but I think that the Irishman has halted that little charge, and you would guess from here, with half a lap remaining, 2/3 perhaps, that those front 4 positions will stay as you can see them on screen. Behind the front 4, Javier Campo 5th, Ryan Urban 6th, Jeremy Chiron 7th, Flo Lambert 8th, Michel Abuassa 9th, and Richard Faulkner making it 2 Irishmen in the top 10. Cristiano Magado into the final chicane for the 8th and final time onto the home straight, and the world champion starts his defence with victory in his opening heat. Martin Pearce 2nd, Adam Hunter 3rd, Antti Ollikainen 4th, Ryan Urban 5th, Javier Campos 6th, Jeremy Chiron 7th, Florent Lambert the Frenchman 8th, Michel Abuassa 9th, and Fernando Guzzi completing the top 10. Just slipping out of the top 10, the Irishman Richard Faulkner. Sadly, not making the restart, Ricky Tanioka, Ilya Aloskins, Soturis Papachristo, Andreas Brindley, Juan Jose Rivera, Eric Jackson, Renato Russa, and Otman Keifley. But the winner did make the start. Cristiano Magado is 35 years of age, from Durban in southeast of South Africa, and the world champion in each of the last 3 years in this class. Also the world champion in the 2003 Rotax Max Senior World Finals. Well, a disappointing race. I suppose not if you're Cristiano Magado it starts, but we don't like to see 9 drivers go out on the opening lap and 3-4 racing laps not actually being raced but being driven under the full course yellow. But that sometimes happens. Cristiano Magado on the scales. That looks like Henry Odendaal to the right hand side. Henry Odendaal, the father of Ralph Odendaal, a world number 2 in Rotax racing. Just trying to think when Ralph got his number 2 shot. It was at Sharm el Sheikh, Egypt, when he was beaten by fellow South African Caleb Williams. That is Henry Odendaal with Cristiano Magado now. In saying it's Henry Odendaal, if his wife Rose is watching, hello Rose, sorry you're not with us here in Europe, but nice to know that you're watching if you are watching. So confirmation of that fragmented race. Best of the Frenchman, Jeremy Chiron, and that was quite a good drive by Jeremy Chiron. Another world champion there, Jesus Perez Santander of Spain, he finished 12th. Vika Chong of Hong Kong, with his lovely daughters Pixie and Pico, 16th place. Vika Chong will be happy with that. These misfortunes are two-edged swords, aren't they? Vika Chong might not have thought he was in for a top 20 finish. He's credited with one now. Mahfoud Amir in 26th place for Indonesia, the second oldest gentleman in the whole event, 52 years of age. Did complete the full race distance though. Well, our next race in this class sees Mikko Laine of Finland starting on pole position, joined on the front row by Slovenian driver Primoz Matelic. Row 2, the only lady in the race, Tiffany Chittenden from New Zealand. Tiffany lines up with Tommy Helfinger of Germany. Row 3, Moritz Nopjes of the United Arab Emirates. Once again, hi to our friends at Al Ain Raceway, the UAE going very well this year. Henry Martin of Argentina joining Moritz Nopjes on the front row, on the third row. Henry Martin, a former teammate and team opponent of Ayrton Senna. Row 4, Chris Adams of Belgium, Geza Fodor of Hungary. Row 5, Charlie Hipp of France, Luis Schiavo of Venezuela. Row 6, Max Oreto Cuesta of Chile, alongside Derek Wang of the USA. Row 7, a former world champion at this level, Dennis Kroos, alongside Dennis a Dutchman, alongside Uldis Timax of Latvia. Tomokazu Kawase of Japan is on row 8 with Stephen Ellery of Australia. Row 9, Gabriel Zugella of Argentina alongside Guillaume Berthaud of France in his last event. Guillaume Berthaud's farewell starts on row 9. Takanobu Fujiyama of Japan is on row 10 with Carlos Medina of Mexico. Row 11, Mike Jones from the Dallas Kart Center, USA, and Hamish Layton from Australia. Row 12, Attila Virar of Hungary and Jose Maria Reina Machin of Spain. Row 13, Paul Cavallo of Canada, Vladislav Alkavadov of Russia. Not sure if we're going with Jenny. Let's pause from looking at the grid and talk to Jenny.
So, Martin Pierce, a good place for the first race. How was the racing for you?
Yeah, I got a good start, and then the slow boards came out, so we did 4 laps, just single file while the accident was cleared. And I was hoping to try and nick Chris for the win, but he just pulled away slightly, so with the 2-3 laps that we had, I didn't have a chance to get near him.
Yeah, like you said, not much of a race because most of it you were single file. And what about you, Adam? Right behind there, but not quite enough this time.
Yeah, I didn't get such a good start, but hopefully capitalise that on that next time. But yeah, it seemed like a lot of carnage behind us. So yeah, as I said, went to the slow board and yeah, just wasn't enough laps to do anything at the end there.
I'm sure a lot of people are nervous. Now you guys have a lot of experience. The juniors are really nervous, I think, the way they're driving. How do you see the rest of the weekend when you say, okay, there's a little bit of carnage, it slows everything down, the people miss out, really, on their opportunity to make the final? What do you think, Martin? You've been here a lot before.
I'd say people will realise by the second and third heat, hopefully, that they can't win it all in the first corner, and to get to the finals, they've got to finish. So I think things will steady up.
Hopefully. What about you, Adam? You've been here also before.
Yeah, I think the same. Hopefully everyone will calm down a little bit and give each other a bit of room. At the end of the day, it's all about the last race, so we all need to make it there and see how we go, yeah.
So we look forward to seeing you guys there. And yeah, good luck in the next heat. Thank you.
Thanks, Jenny. Jenny talking there with Martin Pierce of Ireland, who's just finished second, Adam Hunter of Australia, who's just finished third, and that behind the South African world champion, Cristiano Magado. Well, they were in groups A and B. It's groups C and D coming out next. Just a little bit behind the clock because of the debris that had to be cleared from the full course yellow incident. So just a little bit of a pause and just dropped 2 or 3 minutes on the schedule. Here's Mr. Roland Geidel from rgmmc.com. Roland Geidel, of course, the promoter of the Rotax Euro Challenge, and one of the most respected people in world karting, Mr. Roland Geidel of RGMMC. So the 2-minute siren goes, and we're going to be no more than 5 minutes down on the schedule after the debris was cleared from the previous race. We do hope we don't have, what was it, 8 drivers failing to come out for the rerun of that one, and 1 or 2 others not getting the full distance when they did, of which Alexander Gumpenberger was one. Incidentally, mentioning Alexander Gumpenberger, Robert Gumpenberger, no relation of Alexander, who ran the Rotax World Challenge for 5 years until his finale in New Orleans last year. He's here with us in Spain, and we had a chat with him at the hotel last night. Really nice to see. Kart number 354 that we see there. Kart 354 is Troy Woolston from Australia, and there's a nice shot there of him getting that Mojo tyre and the nuts nicely on. But as much as there is interest in that sort of picture, and I love seeing those sort of pictures, and I think from things we learn from you, those of you at home like to see the little incidental off-track pictures. but even though I've got my headset on, I hear the roar of the motors, so we're going to be racing soon. So Mikko Line of Finland will start this one on pole position. Primoz Matelic of Slovenia will join him on the front row. The lady of the class, the classy lady, Tiffany Chittenden, on the inside of row 2 for New Zealand, KART 410. Alongside Tommy Helfinger of Germany. I'd just love to learn who he might get sponsored by. Great name. Tommy Helfinger. Moritz Knops of the United Arab Emirates. Originally ethnic background was the Netherlands. He's on row 3 with Henry Martin of Argentina, a former teammate and a former opponent in South America in karting as a teenager with the great Ayrton Senna. To the left of your screen, that's Mikko Line in the blue race suit. To the right in KART 414 in the darker race suit, Primoz Matelic. This is an 8-lap race, hopefully all of them at race pace, with no sign of a full course yellow. The dark clouds above do look a bit threatening, but it's quite dry at present. So, Mikko Line on pole position, Primoz Matelic joining him on the front row. And Mikko Line is slowly away from pole. Mace retained the lead because he's got the bend turning in his favour and does hold on to the lead. He was a little bit slowly away, and that's brought Tiffany Chittenden, who I think is going through in 4th place. Soaring at the wheel, Tiffany Chittenden in 4th place. Just behind her there was a little bit of contact, so that's taken the pressure off the New Zealand lady. So Mikko Line feeling the pressure immediately though from Primoz Matelic, and Matelic bidding to go past, is he? Well, was bidding momentarily, but not so at this particular time. And these two pulling clearly away at this stage, as Tiff Chittenden I think has lost a couple of places there. So having had a decent start, the lady from New Zealand, from Christchurch, South Island, she's going to be a little bit further down the order when they come past at the opening lap. So Mikko Line continuing to lead from Primoz Matelic. 3rd place driver, Argentinian Henry Martin. I don't think I mentioned his name, should have done. He went past Tiff Chittenden in 4th, so when Tiffany I thought had lost additional places, I was wrong about that. There she is going through now in the Serpentine area in a fairly lonely 4th place. Look, that's Henry Martin in shot. Well, he isn't in shot now. That's Mikko Line leading Primoz Matelic. Then quite a gap to Henry Martin. Yes, let's just have a look at that. Oh, that was quite a little clout on the last turn, wasn't it? Can't see which of the drivers were involved in that one. Has to be seen what the stewards make of that as well. As one of our front runners loses pace, and one of our front running drivers is going to drop places as they sweep round. The front 3 now coming into this chicane, still led by Mikko Line, Primoz Matelic 2nd, and in 3rd place Henry Martin. A little bit of a gap then to Tiffany Chittenden in 4th place, Arueta Cuesta in 5th, Tommy Helfinger 6th, Charlie Hipp 7th, another former world champion Dennis Kroos 8th, another former world champion Christoph Adams 9th, and Kawasi of Germany completing the top 10, just outside the top 10, Derek Wang of USA. Moritz Knops of the United Arab Emirates started on the inside of the 3rd row, but is outside of the top 10 at the moment. He's running 12th. Just looking further down my timing screen, Stephen Ellery of Australia had some sort of issue because he's down in 26. Bobby Green of USA has climbed a lot of positions to 24. Even though he's only 24th, he was a long way back. Guillaume Berthaud, in his last event ever, only just in the top 30 in 29th place. Mikko Line still under pressure, and here is a move by Primož Metelic. Does he make it stick? Not quite. But Henry Martin gets closer in 3rd place, and Tiffany Chittenden gets closer in 4th place. And these 4 drivers pulled well clear of 5th place driver Oroeto Cuesta, kart number 425. Max Oroeto Cuesta is from Chile. Tiffany Chittenden now putting serious pressure on Henry Martin of Argentina. Henry pops his hand up. I'm not guessing what he was saying. It was either, sorry I bought you, Tiff, or it may have been, what do you think you're doing? Because I think there was a tiny bit of contact there. But at the front, Mikko Line, former European champion, getting really serious pressure from Primož Metelic. Henry Martin getting serious pressure from Tiffany Chittenden. Good race for 1 and 2, good race for 3 and 4, then quite a gap. And again, Primož Metelic looking to take the lead. Ooh! And, well, you saw it, you don't need me to tell you what happened there. Just unable to go past Mikko Line, and then a crossover move. And once again, Henry Martin gets a lot closer in 3rd, and Tiffany Chittenden goes through to 3rd place. Does she? Yes! Tiffany Chittenden of New Zealand goes up from 4th to 3rd, and this is on lap 5 of 8. So Tiffany Chittenden you see in 4th place on our graphic. Just after that graphic was loaded, she moves past Henry Martin into 3rd place. Mikko Line still holding the lead, and Primož Metelic, does he get in front this time? Yes, he does. Primož Metelic finally goes past Mikko Line, and Tiffany Chittenden in 3rd place, taking close order. Henry Martin just ever so slightly detached in 4th place, only slightly, but there is a kart length between him and the others. And Tiffany Chittenden looking to go 2nd past Mikko Line, but the door is closed on her, and that's also allowed Henry Martin to get a little bit closer in 4th place. Primož Metelic, driver from Slovenia. Mikko Line in 2nd place from Finland. Tiffany Chittenden in 3rd place, born in the United Kingdom, born in England, racing now out of Christchurch, New Zealand. And Henry Martin of Argentina has got a bit detached now in 4th place. Behind him, Max Oroeto Cuesta of Chile 5th, Charlie Hipp of France 6th, Tommy Hilfiger Germany 7th, Christoph Adams Belgium 8th, Dennis Kroos Netherlands 9, Derek Wang USA completing the top 10. We're on lap 6 of 8. So coming round to start lap 7, 2 to go, 2 to go. And Mikko Line bidding to retake the lead, and does take the lead. Tiffany Chittenden trying to go through with him, and Primož Metelic closing the door hard on Tiffany Chittenden, but is an opportunity again for the lady from New Zealand. But again, Primož Metelic of Slovenia closes the door. Henry Martin of Argentina, who was shaken off by the front 3, now back in touch with them. Mikko Line of Finland. 1.5 laps to go in the opening heat, and Tiffany Chittenden bids to go 2nd, has not executed it, and Henry Martin has gone 3rd, and Tiffany Chittenden bidding to go 2nd has dropped to 4th. Good close racing though, and now Tiffany Chittenden's in trouble because Charlie Hipp in 5th place, the Frenchman, looking to go past her. Coming out onto the start of the last lap, Mikko Line leads. Primož Metelic in 2nd place, Henry Martin 3rd, Tiffany Chittenden 4th. And as I'm looking at the screen, Henry Martin in 3rd place, trying to put pressure on Primož Metelic. And Mikko Line for the first time has got serious breathing space at the front of this one. Led the race from pole position for a long time, lost the lead to Primož Metelic, but regained it, and with a third of a lap remaining, has got himself a margin of 3 kart lengths, probably. Henry Martin safe in 3rd place now. Tiffany Chittenden, bold of Tiffany to try to go from 3rd to 2nd. It might have worked. Instead, it opened the door for Henry Martin to fight back. Ninja from Japan, one of our press photographers there. Victory to Mikko Line. Mikko Line wins it. 2nd, Primož Metelic. 3rd, Henry Martin. 4th Tiffany Chittenden, 5th Charlie Hitt, 6th Tommy Helfinger, 7th Christoph Adams, 8th Dennis Kroos, 9th Maximilian Oreto Cuesta of Chile, and 10th Derek Wang of the United States of America. Hope you enjoyed that one. Good race. Alan Rudolph started that race in 35th place, climbed up to 22nd, a decent drive by him. Oldest driver in the competition, Kenneth Maxfield, started in 34th place, drove up to 26th, 52 years and 8 months old. So good drive by the 52-year-old. Mikko Line then in the blue race suit, the driver from Finland, softly spoken gentleman, blonde hair as many of the Finns do have. But he's worked hard for his success, Mikko Line. He's been a good driver over a long period, particularly in the Rotax Euro Challenge, but had a long apprenticeship before he made it big. Well, made it big there. This is a Rotax World Challenge Grand Final, heat number 1, and he's won it. Primoz Metelic gave him a good race in 2nd place and did lead for a while. Confirmation then of the top 12 drivers there. Christoph Adams, a double world champion, was 7th. Dennis Kroos, a world champion, was 8th. Tiffany Chittenden, the only lady in the race, she finished 4th. Hamish Layton, not been going well in the preliminaries for Australia, 11th in that one, a good result for him. Stephen Ellery, former car racer in Australia, was down in the lower order of the 20s at one time, but finished 19th. Guillaume Berthaud of France, from karting Sologne at Salbris, France, made a top 20 finish, having been well out of the top 20 at one point. Alan Rudolph, starting on the back row for the USA, didn't go in the qualifying competition, starts all his heats on the back row, up to 22nd. Kenneth Maxfield, as I confirmed to you, the oldest driver in the event, starting in 34th place, drove up to 26th, so in relative terms, a good race by Ken Maxfield. Moritz Nopiers of Alain Raceway was going really well, but didn't complete the race, went out I think on lap 4 or maybe lap 3. Well, Mikko Line is 33 years of age. He's from a town called Vantaa in Finland. He's a software engineer by trade since 2009. Runs Enable Solutions Limited. Likes floorball. Never heard the sport. Sports in general, and he likes history. Started in 1998 in indoor kart racing. Good for you, Mika, and well done. Well, Miko Line and Primoz Metelic came 1 and 2 in that one. They're down in the paddock now with Jenny Wade.
So, Miko and Primoz, we're just talking about how to pronounce your name. A great race between you guys. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about what happened while you're out there, because I just heard some of the conversation.
Yeah, we had a good start. He actually had a little bit better than I did, but we had a really clean race. I led a few laps, and then he tried to overtake me once, and the second time he managed to do it, and then I got a little bit better speed, where it was easy to follow him, and then I managed to overtake him in the end of the back straight, and he had some fight with Tiffany, so it was a little bit easier last lap for me.
I didn't fight. She just passed.
Okay, he says he didn't fight, but she was fast, but of course she dropped back a couple of places. But what happened with the passing move on Miko?
It's not a problem to be fast. It's a problem to be constantly fast. This is the main problem. It's not a problem to be. All the numbers are okay. First, second, third, fourth, fifth. Everything is okay. If you want to push too much, then you go out.
Okay, we've seen that.
We have seen that.
Yeah.
And she.
Okay, he didn't say that.
No, she didn't have to do that. She was third.
Yeah. In any case, she lost the positions. She's dropped back, but you managed to be leading the pole sitter for the race, and I thought you should tell us how you managed to go past Miko.
Oh, I was quicker.
Yeah.
I was quicker than Miko, but it is like this. If you have a rabbit, then it's a problem loose. If you don't have a rabbit, then it's a problem. Because I was passing him, and then I made a few mistakes, and he saw that, and he said, okay, we won't wait, go further. I saw him inside, okay, go. I made a few mistakes, I know. With him in the front, now we were faster. That's why I left him.
I think everybody who's not won the race today has told me they made a few mistakes. That's why they're second or third. Do you think you can fix this in the next race? Because you guys race each other in the next heat or not?
No.
No. We are in different groups, so this was our only one.
Okay, so then we look for rabbits and we'll look for Tiffany and we'll see what she's doing.
We will see what she do, but I think it's nice to have her by us. Normally, I congratulate her. It's tough, really, because I know I was teaching young ladies and I know how it is. But I don't think she has to push that much because we have several races to go.
Okay, so Tiff, if you're listening in or your friends are, don't push so much.
You can buy us a beer.
Okay, you can buy them a beer. We'll let you go. Thank you.
Good luck to your next race.
Well, I wasn't able to listen to that conversation, but they were smiling, weren't they? They got Jenny smiling a lot, and Primoz Metelic from Ljubljana in Slovenia, driving for AKK Sport still, beaten into second place, but a cheerful fellow. Good for him. Well done Primoz, and of course well done to Miko. Well, we now go DD2 racing, and the first of our races, this is groups A and B. We'll see Sean Babington on pole position, Ferenc Kankshar joining him on the front row. Sean Babington on pole position, joined by Ferenc Kankshar on the front row. Adam Glear and Jeff Kingsley, row 2. Ferdinand Habsburg and Ben Cooper, 3 times a world champion, row 3. And we are not racing, the start is aborted, the start is aborted. So once again, Sean Babington and Ferenc Kankshaw on the front row, Adam Glear and Jeff Kingsley row 2, Ferdinand Habsburg and Ben Cooper row 3, Matthias De Tige and Fred Woodley row 4, Harold Skokaklis and Jules Bollier row 5. An 8-lap race for groups A and B in DD2. And Sean Babington gets a slow start from pole position, and Ferenc Kankshaw looks a little bit quicker. But we've lost immediately drivers from near the front that it's going to be hard to have a look at. That looks like Ferenc Kankshaw leading Sean Babington 1 and 2. But I can hear Henry Burdett on the circuit commentary getting very anxious about drivers who've come into contact. Oh, and now I can see you don't, well, just look there, 354 and 337. 337 is Umid Ali Hussein from the United Arab Emirates, and 354 is Troy Woolston from Australia. We've got KART 305, Ferenc Kankshaw leading from Sean Babington. And again, as I've said to you folks tuned in, I'm doing my best to bring you the best of the news that you need. You see what you see on the screen. I'm trying to look elsewhere to tell you, but this is Ferenc Kankshaw leading the race at the end of the opening lap. And we've lost one of our front runners there to a non-racing pace. Well, Sean Babington back in front. We've lost Ferenc Kankshaw. Ferenc Kankshaw dropped away. When I last looked, it was certainly Ferenc Kankshaw who was leading, and he's in 23rd place now. Let's have a look at the start again. Ferenc Kankshaw on the right, Sean Babington on the left. Now Sean Babington was quite slowly away, and that's really bunched those guys, and Ferenc Kankshaw taking the lead there quite clearly, widening to get the angle, and to some extent Sean Babington's what shall we say, start from pole position rather condensed people up. Not deliberately done by Sean Babington, but just one of those things. But now Sean Babington having, shall we say, repaired the early damage. Adam Glear in second place, and I think that's Ben Cooper in third place. Yes, it is, coming through, and these three clear of the rest to some degree. This is the start of lap 3. Sean Babington, Adam Glear remain the 1, 2 and 3. Jeff Kingsley makes it 2 Canadians in the top 4, Ben Cooper being the other. Harold Skokaklis of Latvia 5th, Fred Woodley, KART 309, makes it 3 Canadians in the top 6. Jules Bollier of France 7th, on 7e place, Le Français Jules Bollier. Ferdinand Habsburg of Austria 8th, Kevin Ludi of Switzerland 9th, and Matthias De Tige of Belgium completing the top 10. Just outside the top 10, it's the world number 3, Oriol Dalmau Caballero of Spain. He's running in 11th place. Just having a look at who we might have lost. We lost Brian Ayrton and we lost John Buzzer, but a lot of other drivers are a long way back from those problems. Okay, coming round to complete, and KART 354 is being brought in on a technical defect. Ben Cooper goes to second place, but Troy Woolston of Australia is being brought in on a mechanical flag. Troy Woolston of Australia was down in 32nd place, so that was probably an issue from the contact we saw early on, as Sean Babington now leads Ben Cooper with Adam Glear in third place. We're on lap 4 of 8, so approaching the half race distance in the opening race for the DD2 drivers. It's the 2014 Rotax World Challenge Grand Finals from Chiva, Valencia, Spain. This is Sean Babington going down the back straight, going to turn right onto the long side straight, which gives you the entrance to the pits and ends with this tight chicane. Ben Cooper is the driver behind him, Adam Gleer in third place. Jeff Kingsley has lost that fourth place because Harold Skokaklis of Latvia has moved up to fourth. Jeff Kingsley now running fifth, fellow Canadian Fred Woodley sixth, so still 3 Canadians in the top 6. We've lost Jules Bollier out of the top 10. Oriol Dalmau Caballero, the world number 3, was beaten by Seamus Udavicius and Joey Wimsett at New Orleans, but came in third place. He's now into the top 10 here, and of course bidding to go 2 places better off this year and try to win this one. Well, Sean Babington's lead over Ben Cooper was 0.49 of a second. Sean Babington of Strawberry Racing, working presently in the United Arab Emirates as a driver coach. Ben Cooper coming under a little bit of pressure now in second place from Adam Gleer in third place. Sean Babington is, I believe, from Kent, if I'm not mistaken, and originally so was Ben Cooper. So 2 drivers now doing their work in United Arab Emirates and Canada respectively. Sean Babington from Maidstone in Kent, and I think that Ben Cooper lived somewhere in the Gravesend area. So 2 Kentish men now based in Canada in the case of Ben Cooper, and United Arab Emirates in the case of Sean Babington, doing their work elsewhere. Sean Babington leads, Ben Cooper second, Adam Gleer third. They are the 3 drivers you see on screen. Then you see what a big gap it is to the 4th place driver, which was Harold Skokaklis of Latvia last time I looked on track. This is the start of lap 7, so 2 laps to go. Sean Babington's advantage over Ben Cooper now down to 0.5 of a second. So I often say things like this in commentary, but the good news for Ben Cooper is he's getting within 0.5 of a second of the race leader, but the bad news for Ben, there's only 1 3/4 laps remaining. And a black flag again for the second time today. Troy Woolston of Australia gets a black flag. My guess is that he's not obeyed the technical defect flag, so now he gets a black flag. Troy Woolston, a good driver, but he was down outside of the top 30, so he's not lost so much in one sense, except that he's going to have to go and explain himself to the stewards for ignoring flags. Really, when you think about it, quite a serious situation, ignoring flags. So, 1 to go. We start our last lap, and Sean Babington's lead, 0.479 as Ben Cooper gets closer. Adam Gleer's driven a good race. People often talk to me about various British drivers, English drivers, and I'm not at all familiar with the domestic scene. I do most of my work elsewhere in the world, often outside of Europe, and I have to be honest and say Adam Gleer is a driver I know very little about. When I called up his driver bio, he'd not put anything on it, so I can't tell you too much about Adam. And one thing I can tell you about him is driving well here, because in front of him Ben Cooper is a 3 times world champion, Sean Babington is a European champion and a national champion, so it's only some very good drivers in front of him. Sean Babington then on to the home straight for the 8th and final time. Sean Babington wins it. 3 times world champion Ben Cooper second, Adam Gleer third, Harold Skokaklis of Latvia fourth, Fred Woodley makes it another Canadian in the top 5. Ferdinand Habsburg goes up to 6th place. That was a good effort. Matthias Dettige of Belgium 7th, Ferdinand Habsburg from Austria, Jeff Kingsley from Canada 8th, Jules Bollier from France 9th, and Kevin Ludi of Switzerland for Spirit Racing completes the top 10 at number 10. Mentioning Spirit Racing, let's say hi to Ken Alleman, one of our regular drivers in European racing in the early days of the Rotax Euro Challenge. So, Sean Babington, Ben Cooper, Adam Gleer, the 1, 2 and 3. Hope you enjoyed that race. I do hope you like these pictures we're bringing to you. A lot of you say you enjoy seeing the off-track action. Of course, this is something which the spectators in the tribunes, the grandstands, don't see. The CRG kart of Sean Babington, kart number 326. Big thank you to CRG, who of course sponsor this class. 322, Adam Gleer pushes his kart off the weighbridge. So, confirmation of the result. Victory for Sean Babington by a margin of 0.27 of a second. Sean Babington, now based in the United Arab Emirates as a driver coach. Ben Cooper, now based in Canada as in effect a driver coach. The 1 and 2, Adam Glenn from Great Britain completing the top 3. Ferdinand Habsburg of Austria, if you think that name sounds familiar from when you did your history at school, yes, it is that family. And Ferdinand Habsburg is now a kart racer. He might have been being educated to be a ruler of a major world empire if history had been different. But hey, he probably enjoys racing karts better, wouldn't you? Nick Neary, former USA champion, coming home 13th in front of Gavin Reichelt, another USA driver. Happy Thanksgiving Day to all our friends in the United States. I hope some of you tuned in. Jonathan Kotick in 18th place, another American. Michael Ilavia making yet another American in the top 20. Well done, guys, well done. And happy Turkey Day, happy Thanksgiving. Well, Troy Woolston is shown classified 32nd. But I think when the official results are published, he's going to be out of the results completely on the back of a disqualification. He had a technical defects flag, and we think he didn't observe that, and as a result that was replaced by a black flag. Have to go and explain himself to the stewards. May get his wrist slapped. May have to dip his hand into his wallet. Unlucky for Brian Ayrton, going out on the second lap, the Dutchman. Well, that was a great view, wasn't it, of kart 368. That's Javier Rodelas of Spain, kart number 368. He's from Pitalet de Llobregat, and entered by Iago Rego Rosende. Injured his wrist last year when he was second in the Spanish series, so he wasn't able to do himself justice, had to retire from the series and had a difficult season, but he's going well now. Okay, let's go down to Jenny in the paddock. She's got someone interesting to talk to.
Okay, so Sean, great race there, and Ben coming back right at the end. I guess we were looking, is anyone else going to make a move? But it all happened, I think, earlier in the race. Maybe, Sean, you can tell us how you saw it from your perspective.
Yeah, the race started off okay for me. I managed to get off the line, but I ended up getting pipped by Kanskar, so I managed to get past him, I think, on lap 2, or on the first lap or the second lap. And then sort of just managed to stay in front for the rest of the race. Felt some pressure from behind and sort of kept my head forward and got on with it.
So you had the easy job, not like Ben, who had to fight for his position.
Yeah, it was a bit of a mess the first lap. I had to hang around the outside at the start. I couldn't quite get in, and a lot of people say I'm used to hanging around the outside now and then starts and so on. So I think I got into 5th or so, and then there's a crash that happened in the last chicane. There's been many crashes in a lot of races in this chicane. And I came around in 3rd, but obviously quite a way back, and I pulled in 2nd, took 2nd, and it was Sean was too far ahead, so it was just about managing the gap and finishing where I was.
Of course, it's a great start for the first heat and looking forward to the second heat this afternoon. The sun has come out. I've been carrying the umbrella around. We were talking to Sean last night about the rain. Is it going to make much difference on this track, do you think, when it rains?
Yeah, it's going to be wet.
That's what Tommy Prining said.
No, I think it's going to make a difference. Obviously, there's a lot of sand and stuff on the track. I think it could almost sort of turn into a bit of a mud bath, which won't be so nice for us to drive around and get our suits dirty and so on. But I think it's only really showing a lot of rain on Saturday. There was supposed to be a bit today and a bit tomorrow, but it doesn't look like that now.
And Sean, thinking about the fact that now you've got one up, are you still feeling quite confident now with the setup and everything, with the track? Maybe it's getting more grippy?
Yeah, for sure. I feel very confident from the minute we set off, and we had some okay stuff, so good stuff to go around in. So everything's going well so far, but like I say, it's got a long way left and a long way yet, so could rain.
It's great racing anyway, and we've enjoyed it. Everyone at home is loving it, so all your fans are out there watching. But keep up the action, and hopefully the guys behind you get a little bit calmer as the afternoon goes on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, two men of Kent representing adoptive homes now. It's evening in the United Arab Emirates, but those of you tuned in, especially those at Al Ain Raceway, you're going to be pleased with Sean Babington's performance. It's early in the morning in Canada. You'll be pleased with Ben Cooper's effort. Ben, of course, in the defence of his... no, he's not in the defence. He didn't win it last year, but he's looking to be a 4 times world champion. Well, it's Group C and D up next. Javier Rodelis of Spain starts on pole position with Rasmus Markkanen of Finland joining him on the front row. Brad Liebenberg of South Africa and Zenderu the Belgian, row 2. Row 3, Ed Brand of the United Kingdom and Jordan Boys of Australia. Row 4, Alex Beggi of Italy, Alexandra Arnstedt of France. Completing the top 10, Piers Pakenham-Walsh from the United Arab Emirates, Sean Slavin, the Scotsman, representing Great Britain. Row 6, Stendorian Pirimargi of Estonia and Stefanos Kamitsakis of Greece. Row 7, Gilles Bronda of the Netherlands and Pascal Marskel of Germany. Row 8, Mads Thomsen of Denmark, Damien Fritzi of Switzerland. Row 9, Sanad Al-Rawahi from Oman and Diego Rodriguez Riley of Spain. Row 10, Aaron Sherlock of Ireland and Maxime Gravois of France. Row 11, Eduardo Leitao of Portugal and Andreas Backman of Sweden. Row 12, Kazusa Nishio of Japan and Yuri Alves of Brazil. Row 13, Orkun Aydemir of Turkey and Francisco Hernandez of Argentina. Row 14, Martins Lapins of Latvia, Sena Noor of Indonesia. Top 30 completed by Rodrigo Eckholt of Chile and Henry Taleb of Ecuador. Row 16, Matthias Neem of Lebanon, let's hear it for the Cedars. And from Taiwan, Shang Yao-hong, well done to the Taiwanese. And well done to the Koreans, Kim Kang-do of South Korea, Oscar Lubert of Mexico. And completing the grid, Vikri Razin Rahim from Malaysia, and I have to tell you that Hesham Al-Najjar of Jordan will be a non-starter. He's had to withdraw with an injury. Unlucky for him. Unlucky for us too, because we would love to see a Jordanian racing. He was the only driver from Jordan. So, Javier Rodelis of Spain, can he give us our first host nation victory in the Rotax World Challenge Grand Finals 2014? Nice if we can get a clean first time, wouldn't it? No reason why we shouldn't. Javier Rodelis on pole position from Spain, Rasmus Markkanen of Finland joining him on the front row. And we are not racing. That was not an even formation. To the left of your screen is Javier Rodelis, kart 368, the poleman. To the right of your screen, 313, is Rasmus Markkanen of Finland. They're all on the CRG Dark Rider chassis, the Evo 32 chassis, the EVO 32. Evo 32 Dark Rider, love that name, Dark Rider. So, we're going to try again. Javier Rodelis and Rasmus Markkanen at the front, Brad Liebenberg and Cassandra Ruhr on row 2. Ed Brand, Jordan Boys, row 3. Here we go. Well, we're racing this time, but it wasn't a particularly even break, and Javier Rodelis on pole position had it fairly easy because Rasmus Markkanen didn't really challenge from the outside of the front row. Two drivers down at the bottom of our screen moments ago coming into collision, but we've got everybody bar those two. Oh, and there's contact as I speak, and that is the same place that has caused problems in the earlier part of the day, and there's at least 10 drivers in there, in amongst the dust, who are not going to be able to get going for a while. One of them, Macias 308, not 308, 368, that would have been Ben Cooper. That would have been a bit of a tragedy to say the least. Jill thinks that, well, we know with certainty that Bradley Liebenberg is leading from South Africa. We'll pick from the screen those who don't come through and determine that they're the ones that are lost. But I don't like to see that at any stage, and least of all in a World Challenge Grand Final. But there we are. Opening lap, kart number 314, Bradley Liebenberg, holding off Cassandra Ruhr in second place, Jordan Boys in third place, Javier Rodelis, the pole sitter, dropping back to fourth, and this is Cassandra Ruhr putting serious pressure. Let's have a look again if we can see why that happened. At that point all was well. Now you see just a little bit of touch, that's all it takes, the tiniest little bit of touching, and when you're all lined up like that, well, you're stacked up, and that's the end result. Very unlucky. We lost Pascal Marshall, Andreas Bachmann, Razin Rahim Fikri, Shangyo Hong of Taiwan. We lost Kim Kang-do of Korea, Henry Taleb of Ecuador, Martins Lapins of Latvia was also involved in that little schmozzle, if we can use that word. Oh, and it's really tight now as I come back to look at my screen. Brad Liebenberg in kart number 314 has lost the lead to Cassandra Ruhr in kart 339, and Jordan Boys of Australia making really serious, well, there's a really good race at the front, but I've got to take my eyes off at the moment to tell you of another official decision. Alex Beggi is being called in, the Italian driver Alex Beggi is being called in on a technical defect flag. Can't just see where he is. Yes, he's in the top 20 at number 20. So Alex Beggi being called in on a technical defects flag. Well, this is lap 3 of 8 and one of our closest racers, a good race, Cassandra Ruhr. Although he's from Belgium, from Antwerp, he was at university at, I think it was Ronda in the south of Spain. So a nation that, if you like, you can call him half a Spaniard, an adopted Spaniard. Oh, and it's so close as they go over the line. Cassandra Ruhr and Jordan Boys, 0.07 between them. And Cassandra Ruhr just holding on. Cassandra Ruhr is kart 339, if you can read the numbers on your screen. My darkening screen makes it a little difficult, so we're looking for other identification aids. 339, Cassandra Ruhr. Brad Liebenberg went through second. Jordan Boys, I think, still third. Yes, that was Jordan Boys. Crouching down below is Vas Kaligis, one of the leading Rotax and world kart photographers. We're on lap 4, and the front running 3 just a tiny little bit clear of fourth place driver, which was the poleman Javier Rodelis. Cassandra Ruhr, Brad Liebenberg and Jordan Boys. And Brad Liebenberg getting closer and closer and closer. Oh, and just gets hung out to dry a little bit, and that's going to let Jordan Boys through, I think, into second place, and indeed it does. So I guess that was a clever little move by Cassandra Ruhr in 339. But what you've done is replaced a hot challenge of one driver by a hot challenge of another. Casendarua 1, Jordan Boys 2, Brad Liebenberg 3, and then that little gap to Javier Rodelis. Now has Ed Brand gone through? Yeah, that looked more like Ed Brand and Javier Rodelis, and Javier Rodelis getting himself well and truly hung out and losing places in the process. Ed Brand looking to make forward progress. Another Brit, Sean Slavin, the Scotsman, up to 7th place. Kamitsakis of Greece 8th. This is the start of lap 6. And at the front, some real, what shall we say, strategic racing, if you will. Casendarua is KART 339. Brad Liebenberg is KART 314. Jordan Boyce is KART 312. Ed Brand 345. Sean Slavin 362. And Kamitsakis, Stefano Kamitsakis of Greece in KART 302 in 6th place. Javier Rodelis dropped down to 8th, as our graphic shows you. He's 2 seconds now behind Casendarua, the race leader. And Brad Liebenberg into the lead. Brad Liebenberg of South Africa takes the lead from Casendarua of Belgium. Brad Liebenberg, KART 314, but immediately under pressure from Casendarua. Jordan Boyce making a big wide sweep, but these three now clear of the others. Bradley Liebenberg, younger and less experienced than the two drivers behind him, and Jordan Boyce thought he saw a gap there and has gone through it. So Jordan Boyce has gone through Casendarua, so the race leader of a moment ago has blinked in the wrong place and finds himself 3rd. And to make matters worse, there's only 1.5 laps to go. So Brad Liebenberg, Jordan Boyce, Casendarua, then a gap to Ed Brand, and Ed Brand in your shot now, getting closer to those front three, but you wouldn't think that Ed Brand could finish any further up the field than 4th, simply because we are coming round to a last lap board, and this is the start of the last lap. Here we go, 1 to go, 1 to go. 4, 3, 2, 1. Brad Liebenberg, South Africa, holding off the challenge of Jordan Boyce of Australia. Casendarua 3rd, and Ed Brand definitely joining those front 3 now. So if anything silly happened between the front 3, Ed Brand poised to make a move, and there's a move by Jordan Boyce. Jordan Boyce of Australia takes the lead, and Brad Liebenberg goes from 1st to 4th in the blink of an eye. Ed Brand gains another place. And there's contact between the front 2. Well, Ed Brand making the most of this now, and Jordan Boyce got a hold on here, doesn't want to fall away any further. And more contact, you saw it on screen, incidental contact, nobody doing this deliberately, but KART 339 of Casendarua, you saw in shot there, there's the checkered flag. Brad Liebenberg in 3rd place, 339 Casendarua getting himself back into 1st place. Jordan Boyce came home 2nd, Brad Liebenberg 3rd, Edward Brand 4th, Stefano Kamitsakis 5th, Sean Slavin 6th, Alexandra Arnstedt 7th, Stendorian Pirimargi 8th, Javier Rodelis, a disappointing drive from pole position for Spain, he finished 9th, and the top 10 completed by the Dane Mads Thompson. So well done to Casendarua, winning that one from Jordan Boyce 2nd, Brad Liebenberg 3rd.
Ya, pero como ha dicho que los horarios no eran fiables.
Well, confirmation then, as our graphic confirms, that Cassenderua, after a really good 8th race of the day, was the victor, the Belgian coming home in front of the Australian Jordan boys, and Bradley Liebenberg well worth his 3rd place. Edward Brand, a good drive late on to got him up into 4th place, and another Brit, Sean Slavin, crept onto the radar to get up to 6th place. Good effort by him. Irishman Aaron Sherlock, he'll be pleased with 12th, I think. Piers Pakenham Walsh, it sounds a very aristocratic name, doesn't he? Another driver from the United Arab Emirates to go well, 13th place this morning. 1 or 2 slight disappointments potentially down there. Martins Lapins of Latvia, we would have expected better than 24th, but I think he was caught in some of that mayhem. And although they've not scored well, good to see the Koreans here. Kim Kang-do from South Korea, driving for the KART Valley team. Lovely name. He's classified 27th. Sadly, we lost Gilles Bronder and Alex Beji at, 3/4 race distance. And on the last lap, Senna Noor of Indonesia went out of the race. I'd just seen his father moments ago, who was looking a little bit glum. And that will be the explanation why I hadn't spotted that Senna was a non-finisher. Well, folks, I hope you've enjoyed our morning's coverage of the heats. Every driver now has raced one heat. 1 or 2 have perhaps had less racing than others when we've had 1 or 2 comings together, so to speak. But we're going to do it all again this afternoon. If you just look to the left of your screen, I'm Ken Walker, giving you a little wave or a bigger wave. The lovely lady to my right is Jenny Wade, who's been bringing you the interviews. And Jenny, I'm not able to hear all of the interviews, but what's been the feel amongst the drivers down there?
The guys at the front don't seem to have much of a problem. They're enjoying the racing. I guess a little bit of a surprise for the back in the field, but maybe not also for the nerves. The track is a little bit slippery. Of course, when people run on and off the track, there's some more friends out there. And, this is...
Jenny Wade's fans waving to her in the front window.
This is probably added, for the start of the race meeting, not such a nice feeling for some of the guys who are really trying to make up for lost positions in the qualifying, unfortunately. But generally, it's good. They like the track. They like the racing. There's a little bit of rivalry. There's also, being such an international field, many people who are meeting each other for the first time and saying, oh, yeah, I read about you, I heard about you, and no, it's been great.
Are you the real Ben Cooper?
Yes, but of course, they see that on the track. And no, it's been good, and the guys really some of them get together, they have no problem to talk and chat. I think today's a little bit more relaxed than what it might be tomorrow as well, when they start to get really to that point where, you know, am I in the final, am I in the repechage, am I going home?
Can I volunteer to you that it's not so relaxed at times, but I know what you're saying. But this evening we're going to be able to chat in your studio show. Just
yes, of course.
Tell
once
us
again at
when
6
we
o'clock.
go on air for that.
Yeah, we'll be there once again at 6 o'clock, and there's Bjorn out the window.
Hello to Bjorn.
In the studio every afternoon, you know, we try and make this a little bit of fun, a little bit relaxed, but as well we have some technical things, new things happening. Talk to some of the drivers or the team managers and, you know, people from BRP, which is really interesting, the people behind the scenes. Today we'll be meeting one of the manufacturers as well, CRG, and also we're going to have a special guest coming in today from Austria, from BRP, from the finance department, so we have to talk to him about that new studio.
Yeah.
And yeah, also some of the press guys, some of our friends.
He's not going to talk about your expenses claim, is he, Jen?
No, well, I don't actually have expenses. But,
me neither.
In any case, it will be good, and also we've got lots of people following us on Facebook, so keep voting as well. For the Nations Cup, the Fans Nations Cup, that is. So there's a great album with lots of photos, and the press people are going to show you as well this evening where does all the information go, and how can they read this? What are they doing here? What's important? And this is really how we take the event to the world. So I thought I'd share some of the thoughts of our friends in the media.
That's a great
so that's
idea.
This evening,
great
6 p.m.
idea. Because just as we meet our racing friends from around the world, we do make friends in the media, and they tend to last even longer, don't they? Because they don't move up into Formula One or something like that. We're just doing what we do over the years.
Yeah. No, it's really.
Now, just tell us again, what time do we tune in?
6 p.m. Well, that's
6 p.m. That's
European time.
Give or take.
Central Eastern
6 p.m. So we're going to be racing again this afternoon, just after 14:30, just after 2:30. Do join us then for the second round of the heats, but join Jenny at 6 o'clock if you want a lighter review, wrap, feel of how the day's gone. Lots of interesting things to do. I'm going to be tuning in, but I'm going to be supping a beer at the time, so I won't be in front of the camera.
You and a lot of other people. But just to go out on the lunch break, Ken, in the background I can hear your favourite song. We thought we'd give you something to relax a little bit as we go into the lunch break. And of course, Johnny Farnham, all the way from Down Under, one of my friends, with The Voice.
Oh,
so
I
you
can't
can
hear
enjoy
that.
this.
I must say it loud, say it clear. I've always thought, well, I don't know whether I do, but it's a good motto. John Farnham.
Yeah.
From, 30 years ago? Lovely song.
It's been good with The Voice. Thanks, Ken.
Okay, thank you, Jenny.
The song, please.
What we wanna write. From proud beginnings in an inventor's workshop to a global company, BRP continues to lead the power sports industry by remaining true to our DNA and by adhering to core principles that have guided our success. We continue to invest in innovation with a manufacturing and research and development footprint that spans 3 continents. Our growing dealer network serves consumers in over 100 countries, and our world-class workforce has the skill and determination to build the best, most exciting products on Earth. BRP focuses on creating more energy-efficient products that deliver proven consumer value. We are committed to the people we serve, to those who help make us grow, and the communities in which we live and work. As writers ourselves, we continually strive to improve the writing experience across all of our brands. From snow to sand, from sea to mountain highway, across the country and beyond, BRP will bring even more thrill and excitement to your outdoor playground through our unwavering effort to create the ultimate power sports experience.
At Can-Am Spyder, our DNA has always been different. We're always looking forward, exploring, striving, evolving, always in pursuit of the ultimate ride. Introducing the Can-Am Spyder F3. Can-Am Spyder F3. Riding has evolved.
Well, good afternoon everyone and welcome back to Chiva, Valencia in the southeast of Spain. We've had our lunch break. As you can see, the assembly area full of karts, juniors. Mr. Bascalig is to the left, just taking some photos. We had some great racing this morning. The opening race, a real stunner. And the drivers who finished first, second and third in that opening race, they're out in the first one this afternoon in the juniors. So we're expecting more of the same. We had one dud race, DD2 Masters, the first one. We had a full course yellow for a lengthy period, but in all honesty, the other 7 races were really good ones, and about 4 of those 7 particularly so. Well, a race winner first time out this morning was Rokas Baciuska of Lithuania. He starts on pole position alongside Australian Bryce Fullwood. Row 2, Mick Vishofer of Austria and Luke Willemse of Netherlands. Row 3, Giannis Slavinsky and Tommy Preining. Thomas Preining was a winner first time out. Dennis Beckers and Stingray Rob are row 4. Yuri Vips and Jesper Sjöberg, row 5. Row 6, Dean MacDonald, the Scot, Max Hofer, the Austrian. Row 7, Jaden Ojeda, only had 1 laps racing this morning, looking for a better result this time for sure. Jose Enrico Brito sharing row 7 with Jaden Ojeda. Gianfranco Mazzaferra of Canada, Kasper Koyus of Estonia, row 8. Zane Goddard and Lisard Santos, row 9. Nathan Edouard and Pedro Cardoso completing the top 20 on row 10. Nicholas Jarbo and Laszlo Scherver, row 11. Tony Toyika and Dylan Bice, row 12. Yannick Brandt, Samuel Lupin, row 13. Rosalind Lukman and Zisis Kuris, row 14. Row 15, Clay Van Aert and Tatsuya Mari. Row 16, Wongsanganan Verovic and Shane Mullins. There's some question mark over Shane Mullins, whether he will be coming out. Row 17, Pavlo Danishenko, and the lady in the race, the only one, Katja Piuk of Slovenia. And row 18, Ivan Vleshkov of Bulgaria and Khalid Emran Adam of Malaysia. A 7-lap race, heat 2 for the juniors in groups A and C. Well, I'm Ken Walker, going to be talking to you from the commentary box just by the start-finish line. Jenny Wade will be out and about in the paddock. We had a chat with most of the race winners first time round, so I'm expecting something similar again. The second formation lap that these guys going round on. This morning we just had 1 formation lap. Not sure if all the races this afternoon. It was a false start, I'm being told. It didn't look like a a potential start. It was very, very fast. Okay, who's the guys to watch out for? Well, we've got 2 winners in this race. Rokas Baciukas, who starts on pole position, was a winner of race 1. Thomas Preining, who starts on the outside of row 3, was the winner of race 2. Mick Vishofer on the second lap came second in one of his races, or his only other race, and Janis Slavinsky of Belarus third in his race this morning. So some good guys to be watching out for sure. I mentioned Katja Piuk, the only lady in the race. She's starting in 34th place. She started there this morning and drove up to 19th, which wasn't a bad effort from the lady from Slovenia. It's dry here, it's not too cold, but look at the top of your screen at those dark clouds. We are told, Team Netherlands, well done the Dutch, out in form, so we're told to expect some rain. Okay, here we go. And we're racing, and Rokas Baciuska, no we're not. Again, we are not racing. So, may well have been, I'm not able to tell you the official reason for the false start. Often I'm given a radio contact. Here I'm not, but my, well, what shall we say, suggestion to you is that the approach speed was too fast, and so the red flag is being drawn out and people are going to be being spoken to. Primarily Rokas Baciuska on pole position and Australian driver Bryce Fullwood, who joins him on the front row. They're the guys, after all, that can control the pace as we bring them round to the start. It's finger-wagging time. Quite a pretty circuit this. It's only 6 months old. It was started, I think, the footings first dug out March time, homologated by Franz Schreiner on behalf of the CIK to get its international license as late as the summer, June or July, and confirmation that this race has been red flagged. Why has it been red flagged? I can tell you with certainty, it's so that the race officials can explain exactly what was wrong and exactly what's wanted this time. So, I've often said in commentary, it's a great privilege to start a race on pole position, but it does come with some obligations and some responsibilities. Well, poleman Rokas Baciuska is being summoned out of the kart. Race director Nigel Edwards pointing to, I think, the part of the circuit where he doesn't want Rokas to get any more speed, or else there can be a sanction. So Rokas Baciuska, already one victory under his belt, starts this one on pole position. But he really is on a final warning. He wouldn't be thrown out of the race, but he may well be put back to row 2 or even worse. Okay, let's hope we get it right third time. Note, incidentally, it was Rokas Baciuska who was spoken to and not both front row drivers. So Bryce Fullwood of Australia, I won't say getting away with it, because if he wasn't doing anything wrong, there's nothing to be gotten away with. But Rokas Baciuska now knows what's expected of him. Well, a driving standards flag has been registered against Rokas Baciuska on pole position. So Rokas Baciuska is now on the equivalent of a yellow card in soccer. So if Rokas Baciuska was to pick up another driving standards flag during this race, then he would not win the race. Let's say no more than that. And it could even be an exclusion. So Rokas Baciuska, before the race starts, is on a driving standards flag, a warning flag, a yellow card, if you will. Rokas Baciuska is kart 156 on the left of your screen, predominantly red race suit. Alongside him in the green and gold of Australia, Bryce Fullwood. We try again, and we are racing this time, and Rokas Baciuska taking it fairly conservatively, but does retain the lead on the swing round to turns 2 and 3. That's Mick Vishover, who's gone in second place. No, now that's Bryce Fullwood, who's rattled through into second place. So Rokas Baciuska leads, Bryce Fullwood is in second, Mick Vishover is in third, and the cloud of dust tells you that there's drivers on the, on the dust. It's not really grass. And why are they there? Because there's been collisions on the tarmac. So for more reasons than one, not a very satisfactory start to the afternoon's racing. However, we remain optimistic that we're going to see some good racing here on. Rokas Baciuska is leading. Bryce Fullwood is in second place. Mick Vishover, I think, still in third. Oh, their replay, that's showed you perfectly. Bryce Fullwood going past Mick Vishover. Kart number 141 in third place is Janusz Slavinsky, and this replay is showing you the mayhem that we achieved on the opening lap at turn 3. Well, we're now on lap 2. Rokas Baciuska, Bryce Fullwood and Mick Vishover and Janusz Slavinsky, the 1, 2, 3, 4 as I called them. Thomas Preining, a race winner last time out, started on the third row, is 5th. At the moment, Luke Willemse, the Dutchman, 6, Jori Vips, Estonia, 7, Dennis Beckers from Maastricht in Netherlands, but I'm told he's racing on a Belgian licence. He's 8th, Jaden Ojeda of Australia is 9th, and we've got a new leader, haven't we? Because Bryce Fullwood has gone past Rokas Baciuska. Well, from time to time I move my eyes off the screen to the timing screen, or to somewhere on the circuit where I look out the window if I want to see an incident, and that was one such occasion, and managing to miss Bryce Fullwood going past Rokas Baciuska into the lead. My thanks to Jill prompting me. It's changed again though, hasn't it? Because Rokas Baciuska's got the red helmet and Bryce Fullwood has got himself well hung out there. He's not just in third place, he's in a slightly fortunate third place. That could have been a lot worse. And Mick Vishofer of Austria now putting the pressure on Rokas Baciuska. When these met this morning, Rokas Baciuska was chased hard by Mick Vishofer, who took the lead at one time. Hope you like our pictures at the top. That was, I think that was Taimur Kermanshashi from the United Arab Emirates that I saw. The drivers who are going to race in the next heat, watching the action in this heat. A little bit further down the top 10, Yuri Vip 6, Luke Willems is 7, Dennis Becker's 8, Jesper Sjöberg 9, and Jaden Ojeda, the Australian, completing the top 10. On our screen it's shown as 11, with just a little bit in front of that. The data collected when the transponder is picked up going over the start-finish line, we have the advantage that these pictures that you can see tell us the action before they get to the start-finish line. Well, these two red race-suited drivers are Rokas Baciuska of Lithuania leading, Mick Vishofer of Austria in kart 159 in second place, and a good dice they're having. Gap back to the Australian Bryce Fullwood in third, and that's Estonian Yuri Vips in fourth place. So coming out of the Serpentine, deep in the technical section, driving standards flag to kart 147, Laszlo Server of Hungary. Laszlo Server of Hungary is not too far up the field, and in fact is in 27th place. One place behind the girl in the race, Katja Pivok of Slovenia in 26th place in kart number 110. Rokas Baciuska leading Mick Vishofer by 0.09 of a second. And well, I often ask the rhetorical question, is Mick Vishofer just sitting waiting for an opportunity, or is he driving at 10/10ths? Or is he not interested in going past Rokas Baciuska, just making a mental note for later in the event, just where Rokas Baciuska puts himself on the track? The Lithuanian won the qualifying competition, so he'll start every heat on pole position. Confirmation there, the top 10 completed by Stingray Rob from Oregon in the United States. Now caption just clearing. We're on lap 5. And the juniors race over a 7-lap race distance. This is Rokas Baciuska in the lead, onto the home straight for the 5th time of 7. So 2 to go, 2 to go. And Mick Vishofer still as close as could be to Rokas Baciuska, but not attempted a move yet. 3rd place Bryce Fullwood, Yuri Vips of Estonia in 4th place, getting a lot closer, top of your screen. But quite correctly, our television director staying on top of this little scrap. Mick Vishofer is from the Speed World Academy, that's at Bruck Anderleiter in Austria. Delightful little track, run by my good friend Mr. Harold Egger. And Mick Fiedler, a great racer himself in karting, he's here at Shiva, Valencia, Spain, part of the Speed World Academy setup. These two cannot yet be separated by any more than about, what would you say, 2 or 3 millimeters. And is this a move? Yes, it is the move. And that was the move that we were anticipating. And Mick Vishofer goes through and takes the lead at the end of the 7th lap of 8. So on the last lap, Mick Vishofer had been just sitting there waiting for his moment. And since this is the last lap, you might well feel that Mick Vishofer will not be caught from here. We're in the technical section in the middle. This is the Serpentine. When we come out of that, we go onto a quicker part, left-handed onto the inside back straight, the inner back straight, as you can see there. Then going round the balloon shape, if you will, sweeping onto the back straight proper, but Rokas Baciuska getting closer still. Tommy Preining setting a new fastest lap, but he's not so far up the field this time, just 5th. So, a drag to the final few turns. Oh, and Mick Vishover and Rokas Baciuska so close to each other. 1:59 is Mick Vishover and he wins it. Won by 0.06 of a second. Rokas Baciuska second. Thomas Preining went from 5th to 3rd on that last lap. Luke Willemse of Netherlands 4th. Juri Vips of Estonia 5th. Janis Slavinsky of Belarus in 6th place. Jesper Sjöberg of Sweden 7th. Bryce Fullwood of Australia, the front row starter, 8th. Dean McDonald, the Scotsman for Great Britain, 9th. And Stingray Rob from Oregon, United States of America, completing the top 10. The lady in the race, the girl, well, Katja Piuk, started in 34th place. She's driven up to 23rd place, so well down the field, but past a lot of lads on the way. Hope you enjoyed that one, our first race of the afternoon. So, confirmation of the result of our first race of the afternoon. A late passing move by Mick Vishover of Austria relegates Rokas Baciuska into 2nd place. So after 2 races, Mick Vishover and Rokas Baciuska each have a victory and a 2nd place. Thomas Preining has a victory and a 3rd place. Bryce Fullwood may feel disappointed having started on the front row to finish 8th. Nathan Edouin, the Frenchman, 11th, was very, very good in the non-qualifying practice early on, but fell away in qualifying practice, but gets himself up there into 11th place. Katja Piuk, the lady from Slovenia, kart number 110, getting herself not into the top 20 this time. She came from 34th to 19th last time, 34th to 23rd this time. And unfortunately the drivers that we lost included Jaden Ojeda of Australia, who now has 2 non-finishers. So Jaden Ojeda of Australia with 2 non-finishers is really on a knife edge for qualifying. We lost Max Hofer of Austria on the 3rd lap, was that? No, it was much later in the race, wasn't it? After 7 laps, but Jaden Ojeda of Australia, well, he's very much in the last chance saloon, because you've not only got to make the top 28 automatically, it's another 28 into the 2nd chance heat, and if you don't make that, there is no 2nd chance. Okay, our next race, the impressive Russian Denis Mavlanov is on pole position. Murilo Della Coletta of Brazil joins him on the front row. He was 3rd last time out. Jordan Sherratt, South Africa, and Dave Wooder, UK, of the row 2. John Grams, Germany, Richard Verskoor of Netherlands, row 3. Max Timmermans of Belgium, and Taimur Kerman-Shashi from the United Arab Emirates, row 4. Top 10 completed by Sandy Mitchell from Scotland, UK, and the youngest driver in the event, 13 years, 1 month, Luis Perez of Mexico. Maciej Trupik of Poland was a non-finisher first time out, needs a good result. Mariano Perez of Portugal joins him on row 6. Alex Quinn of England and Mauricio van der Laan of Spain, row 7. Ryan Norberg of USA and Alex from Italy, row 8. Okay, cart number 122, Yuri Vips. He's talking to Jenny Wade. Let's go and join them.
Okay, Yuri Vips, now 5th position, not so bad in the second heat. Tell us, how's the racing going for you today?
The first heat wasn't too good. I had a crash, but recovered quite well. I think it was 13th in the end. But that one, yeah, I could have been like 3rd, but I sort of made little mistakes on the last lap and got overtaken, so I was 5th in the end. But overall, I'm quite happy with the results today, and we'll see what the heat tomorrow brings.
Yes, of course, it isn't easy. Some of the best drivers in the world in your class here today, and everyone wants to win the title. But what does it mean to you to be here for the Rotax Grand Finals? Is it important all year, or is it just a bonus that you make it?
It actually is really important because I understand that Rotax Grand Finals is a big event, so it will mean a lot to me to win the title, and that's why, yeah.
I think it's important to most people, but I know you're in with a really good chance. So we're going to wish you luck, and thanks for the great racing, because everyone out there's watching.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
See you.
Well, Yuri Vips of Estonia talking to Jenny Wade there. Yuri wearing a Ricky Flynn Motorsport undershirt. Who are Ricky Flynn Motorsport? Well, they have the CIK Rotax World Champion and World Junior Champion. Are they going to have the... CIK World Junior Champion and CIK World Champion. Are they going to have a Rotax World Champion? It's a team in form. Okay, 1 formation lap, so long as these guys don't repeat what happened in the previous race, and 7 laps the race distance for the juniors. The other 3 classes all race over 8 laps. Well, Katja Piot was the only girl racing in the previous race. We've got 1 girl in this one. Zeynep Sen of Turkey, 15 years of age, from Istanbul. She's in kart 155, starts on the back row. Zeynep Sen, kart 155 from Istanbul, Turkey, mixing it with the other 35 drivers who are all boys. Team the Netherlands. Hi to Gabby and Ton. Always turn out well, do Team Netherlands, always. There you're seeing the flag in focus. Always give us a very comprehensive driver bio set, and Gabby van der Burgt, I can't thank her enough. She's always so professional on behalf of the media. Lovely lady as well. She's here with her husband Ton, her daughter Fabienne. Okay, here we go. Denis Maflanov on pole, Marilla Della Caletta on the outside of the front row. And we are not racing, An aborted start. Well, I'm just hearing Henry Burdett, the circuit commentator. Incidentally, I think that's is that Hans Ladfoged of Denmark at the bottom right of the picture? May have been. Circuit commentator Henry Burdett saying he's not sure how much choice Denis Maflanov had to start the race when he did. Thought that he got something of a helpful shove from behind. Well, the guys you see at the top of the screen, they're the seniors coming out next, but they're not too proud to stand at the side of the track and watch the juniors doing their thing. Well, we try again. Denis Maflanov is on pole, Murillo Della Caletta joining him on the front row. Jordan Sherritt and David Wooder, row 2. John Grams, Richard Vescour, row 3. Max Timmermans, Taimur Kermanshashi, row 4. And Sandy Mitchell and Luis Perez, row 5. Here we go. And we are racing this time, and that's a good start by Denis Mavlanov, the Russian, and he's going to hold the lead. And a little bit slow there, so there's a little bit of touching, and the inevitable result is drivers getting spread out a little bit. We've got the 10-pin bowling alley syndrome. As soon as there's one little bit of contact, the inevitable happens. Oh dear, not what we want to see, and drivers' chances of getting a decent result disappearing strongly. Well, Denis Mavlanov from Moscow, well clear at the moment. I think that's Jordan Sherratt of South Africa in second place. Marilla, let's have a look at the replay again. Let's just see. Well, some of the drivers have already gone, haven't they? And the drivers towards the end and really the driver who came off the scrub and onto the tarmac didn't help there, and again there's no chance for the drivers. Well, the Greek driver that you saw there was collected by not one but two people, and he's not going to be able to drive that kart at racing pace anytime soon. Well, he will be a non-finisher in this one, and he's not due out again till tomorrow morning, but very unfortunate. Denis Mavlanov in the meantime continues to lead from Jordan Sherratt. Maciej Trupek in third place in kart 167 will be breathing a big sigh of relief, because in his first race this morning he was caught up in one of those big melees. Well, he's avoided it this time and he's running third. Murilo Della Caleta of Brazil fourth, Max Timmermans fifth, Dave Wooders sixth, Sandy Mitchell seventh, the Englishman sixth, the Scot seventh, Maurizio van der Laan of Spain eighth, Taimur Kermanshahshi of the United Arab Emirates 9th, and Javier Gonzalez in court 151, the Mexican driver, completing the top 10 at number 10, just outside the top 10. I think that's Kevin Drysdale, Dylan Drysdale. Dylan Drysdale is kart 142, he's from New Zealand, Palmerston North, New Zealand. And third going to second is Maciej Trupek, so one Eastern European going past another. Maciej Trupek going into second place, as Jordan Sherratt having passed Denis Mavlanov when I was reading to you previously. So Jordan Sherratt under the close attention now of Maciej Trupek. Maciej Trupek incidentally started on the 6th row in 11th place, so this is a good drive by him. May have had some advantage after the little bit of comings together, but these are the front two that you see now. Jordan Sherratt leading, Maciej Trupek going into second place moments ago. Leaders going through the chicane and onto the home straight to see the end of lap 3 and the start of lap 4. Jordan Sherratt's lead is 0.11 of a second over Maciej Trupek. Didn't spot Max Timmermans going third at the expense of Denis Mavlanov, so the poleman Denis loses another place. Denis Mavlanov. Dave Wooder of Great Britain goes from 5th to 4th, and Denis Mavlanov of Russia, who started on pole position, finds himself 5th now on lap 3. Things going wrong for the poleman. He needs to stop the rot somehow. The lady in the race, well, she's classed 33 at the moment, but sadly 34, 35 and 36 have all gone out, and that includes Alex Quinn, the impressive young driver from Cornwall, England, and David Sitanala of Indonesia, and Nichols Mascardini of Argentina. They are the really unlucky ones. John Kevin Grams of Germany started on the 3rd row. He was one of the front runners caught in the collision and the aftermath of the collision. Jordan Sherratt sets off on lap 5. His lead over Maciej Trupek is 0.15 of a second, and there you saw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was Murilo Della Caleta, I think, having a dice. Was that with Maurizio van der Laan? In shot now, kart number 158 was Murilo Della Caleta. So the Brazilian, incidentally, Della Caleta was 3rd in his first race, so if he could get, well, at the moment he's in the top 5, if he can stay there, that won't be a bad day's work today, when we're looking to go to one more heat tomorrow before the cut, the dreaded cut. Well, it's not the dreaded cut if you make the top 28, you go directly to the finals. If you don't make the top 56, it's a sad farewell. Just trying to have a look at any disappointments. Well, the Dutch driver, Richard Verschoor, who was caught also in some of that mayhem, is out of the top 20, running 21st, and Austin Garrison of United States, 23rd. Not so good. Fastest lap being set by Maciej Trupek from Poland. He's kart number 167. Kart number 167, the Polish driver, going really well at the moment. Good to see the Poles going well, and Maciej Trupek is from Gdansk on the northern coast of Poland, and this is probably his last competition in Junior Max. From next year, he says it's time for a change. Doesn't tell me what that change might be. Several years he also been playing handball, his second passion after kart racing. Well, at the moment he's doing pretty well. Maybe he'll think twice about karting if he goes on to win the World Championship. Jordan Sherratt continuing to lead him by 0.16 of a second, then quite a gap to Max Timmermans. We're on lap 7, which in a junior race is the last lap. Once again, my thanks to the trusty Jill for just pointing that out to me. Really fast lap there by Max Timmermans in 3rd place on that occasion, setting his fastest lap. But Max Timmermans has got a lot to make up to catch Maciej Trupek and Jordan Sherratt. Jordan Sherratt got 1.5 lengths on Maciej Trupek, and in the technical section in the infield he does have something of a little advantage. Maybe that's 3 kart lengths. No, it's not 3 kart lengths, but it's 2.25. So the chicane to negotiate before we see the checkered flag. There is the checkered flag, and victory goes to the South African Jordan Sherratt. Maciej Trupek comes home 2nd place to make up for the disappointment of the non-finish in his opening drive. Max Timmermans of Belgium 3rd, David Wooder of Great Britain 4th, Murilo Della Caleta of Brazil 5th, Sandy Mitchell of Great Britain 6th, Mauricio van der Laan of Spain 7th. The poleman Denis Mavlanov eventually finished 8th. Good drive by the Mexican Hugo Rangel 9th, and Taimur Kermanshahshi from the United Arab Emirates completing the top 10 at number 10. Victory then for Jordan Sherratt from Maciej Trupek and Max Timmermans. Jordan Sherratt is from Umhlanga in South Africa. Started karting at the age of 6. Won the South African Championship in Junior Max this year and last year. Raced in the World Championships last year in New Orleans. Won the Second Chance race, but unfortunately got involved in an accident in the final. His dream wants to race professionally in the UK. A career definitely involved with motor car racing. Well, good luck to you, Jordan. Hope it happens for you. You've not done your chances any harm there. Coming home a winner. So confirmation of the victory for Jordan Sherratt by a margin of 0.20 from Maciej Trupek of Poland. Those two were 1.5 seconds in front of Max Timmermans 3rd. Dave Wooder, Great Britain 4th, and Murilo Della Caleta has a 5th place to go with his 3rd place this morning. Second Brit, the Scot Sandy Mitchell, he was 6th. Taimur Kermanshahshi keeping the form of the Al Ain Raceway UAE drivers, another top 10 finish for them. Christian Brooks going a lot better in this one for the USA, the Max Speed Group. 13th place, quite acceptable. Richard Verschoor in 19th place, will be disappointed with that. Luis Perez, the youngest driver, 23rd when he started on the 3rd row. John Kevin Grams of Germany started on the 3rd row. on the inside of the third row, so 27th place, 20 seconds behind the winner. Big disappointment. Sadly, Zeynep Sen of Turkey, the only girl in the race, was a finisher, completed the full race distance, but classified 33rd. Well, we're going senior racing next. Senior racing next. You're looking at kart 247, which is the poleman Dylan Lehay of Belgium. Looking very pensive there, isn't he? He's from GKS, top team in Belgium, based at Karting Genk. Jerome and Koen from Karting Genk are here with us, so they were pretty pleased this morning seeing Dylan's victory. Dylan did win the qualifying competition. Two race winners in this one, the front row starters Dylan Lehay and the Portuguese driver Bruno Bolido. They're the guys who won their opening races, meeting together. Something got to give this time. Dylan Lehay and Bruno Bolido, winners last time out of the front row. Luca Travaglini of Brazil, Zach Clement de Mello of Canada, row 2. Eduardo Garcia of Spain, Vincent Jewell of Belgium, row 3. An all-British row 4, Josh White on the inside, Jack Bartholomew on the outside. Calvin Wong of Malaysia and Brad Jenner of Australia complete the top 10 on row 5. Another Aussie, Andrew Carey, is on row 6 with Fabian Velter of Mexico. Victor Oberg of Sweden and Philip Arscott of the USA, row 7. Fred Eriksson of Sweden and Johan Alvarez of Colombia, row 8. Mason Morotto of the United States shares row 9 with Josh Price of the United Kingdom. Ryan Kennedy of Australia and Sandor Jakab of Slovakia complete the top 20 on row 10. Pierre Runic from Bosnia-Herzegovina is on row 11 with Kikuchi Akinori of Japan. Row 12, Bryce Choker from British Columbia, Canada. He shares that row with Christophe Paquet of Canada. Yuto Takano, Japan. Waravon Kamarakul of Thailand, row 13. Willem Jan de Loos and Abdullah Al-Tawadi of Bahrain, row 14. Waikong Lee of Malaysia. Thomas Stranava of Slovakia, row 15, complete the top 30. So, kart numbers 119, Jordan Sherratt, and 113, Max Timmermans. They're with Jenny Wade. Let's join them now.
Okay, here we are now. Jordan, a great race, but of course you didn't have so much luck in the first one.
Yeah, you know, that's just how the cookie crumbles. Just got to come back harder every race, and I was thankful that I won this race. And yeah, thanks to Strawberry for helping me this event. And yeah, thanks.
Are you enjoying the race here in Spain?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I went to New Orleans last year, didn't have the best luck there either. But yeah, I love it.
Okay, and what about you, Max? A little bit better result this time as well. 5th in the first heat?
Yeah, 5th in the first heat and a third one in this, and third one in the second heat. So yeah, I think it's quite good. Just have a good race, good finish well for the pre-final. So I think it's quite, the speed is really good at the moment. So yeah, still want to go tomorrow, but I'm looking forward to Saturday. So it's good.
Any of your fans you want to say hello to that are watching today?
Yeah, just my granddad is there, just my dad, just my uncle, everyone is there. So it's nice to. We have also many people of Team Belgium. I think we are now with 55 or 60 people. So for a small country, so that's nice also to see that everybody is coming to here. So I'm quite happy for that.
Fantastic. Everyone's watching. I'm sure they're egging you on. What about you, Jordan? Any fans or anyone you want to say hi to at home?
I'd like to say hi to my mom. She's in, and my dad and everybody. Thanks. Yeah.
Okay, well, I wish you well. Great racing today, guys, and stay out of trouble.
Thank you.
Bye.
Max Timmermans and Jordan Sherratt talking with Jenny Wade. They were the juniors who came 1st and 3rd in that previous race. Senior class, Rotax Max Senior. Coming up next, Dylan LaHaye on pole, Bruno Bollido joining him on the front row. Thank you for being with us. We do appreciate you tuned in here at Chiva, Valencia, Spain, the Rotax World Challenge Grand Finals 2014, the 15th edition. I'm Ken Walker, joining Jenny Wade in the KART-DATA television production team. Very pleased to be with you. You're looking at Dan Roper, a very good driver from the USA, from Florida. The bad news, Dan has to start stone last. Picked up some sort of an infraction in qualifying practice, and as a result is doomed to start all of his heats from the last place, 34th and last, 36th and last. However, is not doomed to make further forward progress. You can come from the back. Dan Roper just trying to focus there. Nice shot of his helmet. That's what it looks like when you're starting last, everybody else in front of you. Dylan LaHaye of Belgium is on the right hand side of your screen in cart number 247. He will start on pole position. On the left hand side of your screen, and the right hand side, 211, is Bruno Bollido from Portugal. He will start on the outside of the front row. They're taking this very slowly because they're only on the back straight at the moment, and it's more or less directly opposite these guys that the start finish line is. There, nice shot of where we've got to get to before we can go racing. Well, we're still in dry weather mode. You can see those clouds in the sky, a little bit threatening, but for the time being we are racing in pretty good driving conditions, pretty good racing conditions, completely dry. Well, Dylan LaHaye has certainly brought them steadily round, hasn't he? No faulting Dylan LaHaye there, and this looks as if it ought to be a first-timer, and it is, and Dylan LaHaye not quite so sharply away as Bruno Bollido. Oh, and touching at the front runners, including the pole man, and that results in several drivers spinning, including front runners. Well, everybody gets back on track, but there's a big drama in the sense that these are front runners who have gone out early in the race. The driver in the lead there is kart number 211, which is Bruno Bolido of Portugal. So Dylan LaHaye did get a touch early on. It was a little bit slowly away, and I'm afraid that's slightly... Yes, let's have a look at the start again. Oh, and that was not a little touch, was it? That was quite a clout. Well, no surprise that our poleman was going to spin after that. Well, not for me as your television commentator to apportion blame. If there's anything to be had in the way of an aftermath, the stewards will deal with. There's some heavy collisions there. Oh, you see that driver to the left of your screen in the white helmet just reaching for his head. His head really rocked back. That won't have done his neck any good at all. Bruno Bolido, in the meantime, says, what are you talking about? I started the race, I'm in the lead, and I'm in a very big lead. And indeed he is, from Luca Travaglini of Brazil, Calvin Wong of Malaysia. Now, where did Calvin Wong start? He was in 9th place, so 9th to 3rd for the Malaysian. Andrew Carey in 4th place, Eduardo Garcia 5th. We've lost Philip Arscott. Philip Arscott of the United States did not come round. So things gone badly wrong for him. Well, Bruno Bolido is in the lead, and we've got to change 2nd to 3rd, or rather 3rd to 2nd. Well, 2nd has gone to 3rd, but in the positive line, 240 is Calvin Wong, who went into 2nd place on the exit from the chicane. And as we start lap 3, Bruno Bolido's lead is 1.6 seconds, but Calvin Wong went past Luca Travaglini, who drops to 4th place because Andrew Carey also went through to 3rd. Zach Clamandamello 5th. Behind Luca Travaglino, Eduardo Garcia is 6th, Fred Eriksson 7th, Mason Marotta of the USA 8th, Victor Urberg is in 9th place, and Brad Jenner, the Australian, 10th, just outside the top 10. Vincent Jewell of Belgium. We're on lap 3 of an 8-lap senior race for groups A and C. Fred Eriksson has a warning flag. Kart number now, let's just have a look on the replay. Already we've had some touching, haven't we? 212 at the back of your screen is Fred. 212, can you see there in the middle of the screen? Well, he was involved at the heart of the action, but I didn't see anything specifically that might have resulted in a warning flag. Oh my. A lot of the drivers say to me, you know, Ken, it's part of karting, it all happens, but when you see it in a slow motion replay, some of it looks ugly, doesn't it? Heading round to half race distance now. Oh, and again, a little bit of contact there, this time in a relevant position of the race. That was 2nd and 3rd. Zach Clamandamello, I think, was the driver. Here is Bruno Bolido in his big lead. Calvin Wong and Zach Clamandamello were 2nd and 3rd. Luca Travaglini, the Brazilian driver, coming under pressure from Eduardo Garcia. Bruno Bolido, race winner, first time out. Well, I feel a little bit uncomfortable turning my head away from the screen, but I just want to see, no, Dylan LaHaye, winner last time out, has not yet come round to complete the previous lap, and I think we've lost Dylan LaHaye. Well, these are the things that happen in karting. You just have to get on with it, but that will come as a kick in the teeth, really. Now, Eduardo Garcia was running 5th. I think that he's gone to 4th place at the expense of Luca Travaglini of Brazil. And my thanks to Jill once again, an eagle-eyed spotter. Bruno Bolido, the entrant Agostinho Bolido in the Portuguese language, but I'm old enough to remember Giacomo Agostini as a top-flight motorcycle racer. Well, Bruno Bolido's lead is huge, as you can see on our television screens, 2.7 seconds. Calvin Wong 2nd, Zach Clamandamello 3rd, Eduardo Garcia 4th, Luca Travaglini 5th, Fred Eriksson 6th, Brad Jenner 7th, Andrew Carey 8th, Mason Marotta 9th, Josh Price 10th, and Vincent Jewell 11th. And confirmation that we do indeed have to confirm that we've lost Dylan LaHaye, the pole sitter, who went out on the 3rd lap. Philip Arscott went out on the opening lap for the United States. Heading round just past the 2/3 race distance. These 8-lap racers, if you've taken a clout, not a lot of time to do something about it. Vincent Jewell in the top 10 at, well, just outside the top 10 at 11th, getting a driving standards flag. Vincent Jewell is kart number 205, and he's picking up a driving standards flag. Let me just see where he went through. He is in the top 10. He's just gone through in 10th place. Bruno Bolido's lead now 2.8 seconds over Zach Clement de Mello, who's gone up to 2nd. Eduardo Garcia 3rd. Fred Eriksson 4th. Luca Travaglini running in 5th place. Calvin Wong of Malaysia, who was certainly running 3rd, may have been briefly 2nd, down to 6th now. Brad Jenner of Australia 7th. Andrew Carey, another Australian, in 8th place. Josh Price 9th, and Vincent Jewell on a driving standards flag, on a warning flag, completing the top 10. Well, Bruno Bolido, not going to put the commentator's curse as we start the last lap, but it's going to be hard to see where he would lose this from here, other than by a mega mechanical disaster, because he's under no kind of pressure other than the psychological pressure of keeping it all together on an unchallenged lap. Zach Clement de Mello in 2nd place, Eduardo Garcia in 3rd place, kart number 233, Fred Eriksson 4th, Luca Travaglini 5th. You know, you just get the feeling that even if Bruno Bolido romps home with this one, there could be some late action between 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th. 7th place driver is Brad Jenner, 6th place driver Calvin Wong. But as you can see, look at that huge lead, 2.6 seconds at the end of the 7th lap in favour of Bruno Bolido. Coming home to see the checkered flag, Bruno Bolido makes it 2 starts and 2 race wins. In 2nd place, Zach Clement de Mello, Eduardo Garcia 3rd, Fred Eriksson 4th, Luca Travaglini 5th, Calvin Wong 6th, Brad Jenner 7th, Andrew Carey 8th, 9th home was Vincent Jewell, and completing the top 10 from the United States of America, Mason Morotto. Just outside the top 10, Ryan Kennedy from Australia was 11th, Josh White, Great Britain 12th, Jack Bartholomew, Great Britain 13th, Willem de Loos, Netherlands 14th, and Josh Price of Great Britain 15th. Well, a race with plenty of incidents, some of it not what we would want to see, but some very good racing nevertheless. Bruno Bolido, 2nd victory of the day. Bruno Bolido, of course, from Portugal. Before I talk about him, let's have a look at the replay we're going to see. Maybe we would have seen the replay. Bruno Bolido from Portugal, Zach Clement de Mello. He's from the French-speaking part of Canada, Montreal, Quebec. And again, we look at the replay this time. Ugly viewing, isn't it? Great pictures by our camera man, and good television direction by our TV director, but a lot of heartache in there. Confirmation of Bruno Polido's victory by 1.8 seconds over Zach Clement de Melo from Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Eduardo Garcia of Spain makes it a third place finish for the home nation. Vincent Jewell, a top 10 finish in 9th place, but has picked up a driving standards flag. Dan Roper, compelled to start all of his races 36th and last, climbed a little but only to 27th, so the Florida driver got a lot of work to do tomorrow when he has his final outing in the heats. And Dylan LaHaye, after victory this morning and non-finish this afternoon. Well, if he can get a victory tomorrow morning, he'll still get into the pre-final with a reasonable position. Okay, let's just take a break from the action here at Chiva. Let's go to a commercial.
At Can-Am Spyder, our DNA has always been different. We're always looking forward, exploring, striving, evolving, always in pursuit of the ultimate ride. Introducing the Can-Am Spyder F3. Can-Am Spyder F3. Riding has evolved.
Welcome back to Chiva, where it's still dry, but those clouds are still threatening. You're looking at cart number 269, which is Carlos Gil from Spain. And cart number 256 is Josh White. He was in the previous race. He's talking to Jenny Wade.
Okay, so I'm here with Josh White. Now, Josh, a little bit of tough racing out there today. Second heat finished. How's it going for you?
Well, the first heat went really well. We came fourth and it stayed out of trouble in that one. But in heat 2, got caught up in a crash at the start because the leader and the second just kind of sideswiped each other, which collected half the grid. But managed to come back through and had good pace, so it's good.
Why do you think this happens at the start? You think they're a little bit nervous, or they won't give way, or they want to win it on the first corner? What's going on down there?
They more want to win it on the first corner, and they don't seem to understand that you've got 8 laps to work your way through. So they kind of just all hit into each other, which ruins everyone else's race.
How's the race pace? You know, it's a new track, it's a completely different surface, perhaps to what you're used to.
I think it's a really good track, but in practice our power valve was sticking, so we actually had a really bad practice and we were last in practice. But the track's really good and it's quite challenging, but I've taken to it quite quickly.
It's very good. I think most people are quite positive about the circuit. They like it. It's different, something different as well. And of course, now that you've got the speed, you're feeling confident for the third heat?
Yeah, really confident, but it's tomorrow, so got a bit of a long wait, and it could be wet by then, so see how that goes.
Are you okay if it's wet?
I should be. I haven't driven in the wet for ages, but I'm not used to be good in it, so.
Okay, we'll have to wait and see, but good race today and keep fighting. We'll see you there in the end.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, thanks, Jenny. Interesting to hear what the Coles Racing driver had to say. We turn our attention now, though, to race 12, which is qualifying heat 4 for the groups B and D in seniors. Carlos Gil of Spain, Nicolas Picot of France, the front row. Chris Dreispring, Germany, Eugene Denesen, South Africa, row 2. Ruut Markkanen of Finland, Guan Yu Zhou, Great Britain, row 3. Luke Herring makes it 2 South Africans in the top 4 rows. He shares row 4 with Anthony Patak of Poland. Row 5, Arvo Talvar of Estonia, Martin Mortensen of Denmark. Oliver Askew, the USA champion, the world number 3. Row 6 with Joseph Riley of Great Britain. Abdullah Al-Rawahi from the United Arab Emirates via Oman. Row 7 shares that with Constantine Schürrle of Austria. Matthew Kinsman, New Zealand. Damiano Marquezan of Italy. Row 8. Dmitry Katayu from Belarus shares row 9 with Harry Webb from Great Britain. Jakub Kachlak, Czech Republic. Kivi Kairo of Estonia complete the top 20 on row 10. Nicola Rogiviu, Switzerland. Christian Kaya, Netherlands, row 11. Jorge Arto Vitor, Argentina. Gary Donnelly of Ireland, row 12. Stelios Saganos of Greece. Artem Arestov of Russia, row 13. Mark Ferenc, Hungary. Alexandra Sovic of Ukraine, row 14. Jake Craig and Jules Cousin, row 15. Kwok Ching Chan, Jackie Chan of Hong Kong, shares row 16 with Victor Sanchez of Mexico. Michalis Dimitriou of Cyprus is on row 17 with Silvano Christian of Indonesia. And from South Korea, Kim Yong-tae is on row 18 with the only lady in the race, Ashley Rogero from the United States of America, from Naples, Florida. Ashley, a non-finisher in her first race, so definitely looking to come through the field in this one if she's to stay in the competition. In car racing this year rather than kart racing has Ashley, and of course if you step into your first kart race in a long time at World Championship level, it can be a bit tough, can't it? This is Carlos Gil to the left of your screen, the pole position man. Came third this morning in his first race, so looking for a good finish now. Nicolas Picot on the right hand side, kart 235. Nicolas Picot, le français, sur la première ligne, pilote nombre 230.